Ho, ho, holy shit. It sounds like everybody is home and everybody's safe. You want to talk about one of the most mind-blowing weekends ever. We're just going to jump right into this tonight. This is the C2E2 live recap show. If you're catching this on the replay, leave a comment down below or follow all of these guys on Instagram and YouTube. Check out their content. They're dropping straight fire stuff from the convention. That's been a blast. Check out all the books they're picking up. Man, I still got to iron out the waves. Let's get into. There's so many people tailgating already. Oh, man. Mark, good to see you, man. Looking forward to the updates. Welcome back, Paul Dunn. Hey, Paul, you should be in the backstage. Paul, hop on. Paul has to hop on because Paul has like 3 or 4 epic stories to share tonight if he will or can. Somebody arm wrestle Paul into here. Somebody called the Nesh and get Paul in here. That's the funny story. Bolo's in the house. What is up, man? You want to talk about one of the hardest working people on the floor this weekend? Good gravy. Let me see the goodies. We will get into those, Vincent, because actually these guys are backstage right now just chomping at the bit to talk about all the killer books that were going down. And there were stealth drops this weekend. Holy shit. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know they did stealth drops at conventions because they're just here and gone. And then I never hear about them. Hello, come on, mama. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Zuni's in the house. Little fist bump action. Can't wait to talk about the dinner that night. My brain's freezing already. It's like I'm going to place myself right back into that bar hanging out there. Who else we got here? Daywalker is in the chat. I literally got to bump into Daywalker for like 3 minutes. Then we got split up and we got to go back and find him again. Austin is in the house. What is up, man? Good to see you. Maybe Austin will be able to make an appearance here in a little bit. Paul said he did sleep a couple hours. Did anybody get sleep yet? Holy crap. House of L Comics, what is up? Good to see you, Don, man. Thanks for being here. Michael, good to see you as always. Thanks for being here. So many people here. Josh, thanks for being here. Good to see you this weekend. Your beater's all jacked up still. I mean, you look at Cody and everybody else and you and me and Skeff. It's like I gotta iron this out now. Stoutman's in the house. What up? Andy and the comic fam. You know I got to do this, man. This is like the one person I wish I could have seen there at the convention, but he wasn't. Welcome to tonight's show, the great Herminio Reyes Jr.'s in the house. What is up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Holy moly, Nick's Kicks and Comics. Why are you not in the backstage, brother? You better hop on here soon. Jeez, where is everybody else at? Let's go. Zuni's still here. Come on, Mama's still here. Luke's Comics in the house. Station, my comic people. Good to see you. Let's get into this. Let's get these people in. They're waiting. We don't want to keep them waiting any longer. Like it's literally already 3 minutes into the show. Welcome to Monday. We totally changed this up. This is now Modern Comic Mondays. This is the C2E2 special recap. So welcome, Chris, the comic vet. What is up, brother? Good to see you.
How are you? I'm terrific.
Oh, better now that we got to see you in person at the convention.
For everyone that's here, all I have to say is not only did I share a beer with this fine gentleman over here, the beard is majestic in person.
The camera does not do this beard justice.
Majestic. I'm like, I need a picture. Like, I want a picture with you, Andy, but I don't really need anything from like the nose up. I just want it all beard. He's like, Chris, let's do it, man. Let's.
That was dope. That was
dope.
Night. That was a lot of great.
What a weekend! What a weekend!
Oh my god! Yeah. Before we get too deep into these epic stories, let's not forget to welcome Mr. Rob himself, Fat Stacks of Comics. What is up, brother? Good to see you.
Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. And I will tell you, I've been home for 40 minutes since my plane landed. And one of the first things I had to run to the bathroom and spray tons of water and get the blow dryer out and blow dry that, get the wax back in the mustache. And oh my God, those masks just played havoc on beards and mustaches.
Yeah, I hadn't even gotten that far and I wish I would have, but oh well. It all there. That's a whole nother story. Let's without further ado, welcome who I was super happy to see there, and I didn't know he was coming till very last second. Taylor, what is up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
What's up, guys? I don't have facial hair. It's not that goddamn hard. People just shave your face.
Get a haircut, hippie.
Since the guy with the longest hair in the house.
I think
Yeah, but look,
be a
look.
hippie.
Here's my hair maintenance routine. Done.
Perfect. Oh boy. And I don't want to keep him waiting because I know he's full of fat and sass and well, yes, he's full of sass. Let's bring in Nick's Kicks in Comics.
Reyes Jr.
It's a mighty fine shirt, Nick. I like it.
Look,
Oh,
both you guys.
Oh,
Nice.
I forgot to grab your shirt and put it on, man. I should have. You can fault me for that one.
Absolutely not. There's no fault in you, my brother. Hi, guys.
Here, I'll represent for a second, quick.
Oh, there it is.
I feel so far away from you guys right now.
We gotta
Like a whole country away.
Yes.
we gotta get more into the community.
You're in Mexico, Chris?
Maria, thanks for being here. Station, she says, this is just going to be a totally unscripted, off the cuff C2E2 recap. This weekend was the most epic 4-day. We spent 4 days there, and there's going to be stories abound from everybody. Maybe we can get Austin in here. I know Paul Dunn has some epic stories. If we can get him to come in, I know he's like, I just want to watch. I'm like, oh, Paul, you got to hop in here. He had some great times and some great stories. But man, I want to know off the bat, kind of going around the horn here for you guys, how your trip in was going. Like, how did you guys get in? Did everybody fly, or was I the only one? Right around the horn, starting with Chris. How did you get in?
So I made the trek via car. Yeah. Yes.
Cocaine smuggling tunnels.
The car that you actually see me in. But I made the drive in. It took me about 7.5 hours from the Toronto area down to beautiful Chicago. This was actually the third time I've made that drive and my 5th time in Chicago. I left around noonish, so I had about 4 or 5 hours of daylight. But basically, once I got on the other side of Detroit towards Kalamazoo, the good Lord said, slow down, Chris. And the skies opened up and the winds opened up. I only found out later what was actually happening across the continental United States. But, took our time, got in there safely. And then Saturday was my first day on the floor.
Good stuff. We had no idea that was going down. I just know that pretty inexperienced with Chicago myself, and at one point I was like, "Oh man, Chicago really is the windy city. This isn't giving up."
That's not why it's called the Windy City, right?
Right.
It's all the sausage they eat. What comes windy out the backside?
Yes,
Blowhard
or the dirty politicians.
Yeah.
Lamort.
So
Yeah.
Rob, man, you flew home, which means you flew in to begin with.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I'm out in California, so it's been too long of a walk, and my bicycling skills aren't up to snuff. So yeah, we flew in. It was just I got hosed by American Airlines a little bit in that I had booked all my travel for nice, 9:30 departures, arriving at 2:30 in the afternoon types of things, and but because I bought all my miles, my flight stuff was all on miles, and I was to fly first class and everything. They turned around and said, "Hey, this guy, we could take his beautiful time slot and give him something else, and he can't change it." So they changed my flight times after I had booked everything, and so they had me flying out at 5:30 in the morning. So from my house, I had to get up around 2:00 in the morning to catch a car to get up there to get the airport and all the other stuff. So that kind of stunk. And then coming back, they moved me from a nonstop flight to a multi-stop flight with less than an hour layover between between your flights. And of course, where are those planes going to be in the terminal is always fun. And you're carrying your carry-on bag that's loaded with your entire weekend's haul because you're not checking that stuff. So it weighs 500 pounds practically as you're trying to chug through the airport with the mask stifling your breath and being a large out of shape man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds.
But damn it, the con was amazing, and
Yeah.
you all were top notch.
It was
Better
fine.
luck next time with the airlines. Like I've heard of some horror stories here or there, but for them to just completely before you even get to the airport decide to change your time blocks is it's not something I hear happening very often.
They'll but you usually like when you book in advance something you get your time shifted because the airline shifts that flight, but they actually put me on completely different flights. And C list, I do live 10 minutes from the San Jose airport, but I was flying out of San Francisco, so it was more than 10 minutes. So
Nice.
Well, you're home safe and sound. That's
That's
the
right.
important part. And we'll bounce over to Taylor. Did you fly as well, or did you drive?
No, I drove. I'm only like 3 hours away, 3.5 hours away. Which reminded me, while you guys were all chatting about how flying and boring stories, I had to I had to pay my tolls online because Illinois doesn't take tolls by cash anymore right now because of COVID. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to have a $5 toll turn into a $800 fine if I don't pay it. So yeah, it's thrilling. It's a riveting story, people. Riveting. I drove south and then I stopped.
Wait, you went south?
Yeah.
You're such a gangster.
Then I drove back north with all these Bears fans coming up to watch their team lose in Green Bay. You know, so
Oh, boy.
that's all right.
Yeah.
Chris went home to watch the Bills lose. So
yeah, that was a brutal
best game of the
one.
weekend, though. Best game of the weekend.
I don't know. The Niners won in overtime. They managed to win in overtime, not lose in overtime. That's all I know.
Who did the Niners play themselves?
Cincinnati.
So they playing the B squad. Like,
All right, popping over to Nick, man. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you on deck for this? On deck?
Yeah, and I mean it's not just me, but it's tough getting back acclimated, right? Like I'm having like the worst day today. But I flew in. My flight wasn't bad. It's about an hour and a half ride from Texas to there. But when I got to the airport, I got the most gangster cab driver I have ever seen. And I've lived in New York City, people, the land of the crazy taxi drivers. But people don't know that the speed limit was 55. This guy was doing at least 85
Oh, that's Chicago.
in heavy traffic.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's
That's how you
Chicago.
earn a tip.
yeah,
That's Chicago.
that's
It was
Chicago, honestly.
Yeah, and it was
If you
also
go 55, you're gonna get rear-ended by like
Yep.
everybody on the road.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad. I mean, I'm used to it somewhat. I mean, I drive like that a little bit, not 30 over, not 30 over, but it did cost me $100 though. Whereas
$100 cab ride?
Was that to get from the hotel to the airport?
That was to take a metered cab from the airport to the hotel.
Yeah, that's
Whereas an Uber cost me $40
good.
to
Yeah,
get from the hotel to the airport.
I'll tell you, it was $100 for the executive car.
I paid $100 for Malort.
So you could have gone in style for the same price, Nick.
I still taste it right here.
Yeah, it was worth it just to see the look on Joe's face.
Oh, oof. Yeesh. But how about you, Andy? Oh, did you tell your story?
So we made the decision after the last C2E2. We tried to do it in one day. We were like, hey, Chicago's not that far. Let's drive over there. You can get a reserved parking spot. Not a big deal. Walk over to the convention, spend a day. Little did we know that convention was going to be 6 times bigger than any convention we've ever been to, number one. And little did we know that when you buy a reserved parking spot with a number in Chicago, they give that shit away no matter what. $38 reserve spot is still first come, first serve, even if you paid 4 months in advance. Wow. So we told ourselves for this year, if it was going down and it was locked in, we wanted to do not only all 3 days, but we wanted to be there a day ahead and experience Chicago. So we drove from West Michigan down to Chicago on Thursday morning as early as we could go out. It was great. The roads weren't too bad. It was nice, quiet traffic. And besides the tolls, we get to that. It's like a light switch. You cross into Illinois, you hit that road. Oh, hey, look, 55 miles an hour. Oh, and you're doing 60. I hope we don't get a ticket. And then all of a sudden, you got like video games like they're just racing past you like 85 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's gonna die. You better go faster or we're dead. And it was for the life of me, it was really hard to get video footage seeing the city come in to view on the horizon. That was really cool, but it was kind of tough with all the traffic and that was going by the window. But then once you get down there, next thing you know, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but we don't see 6 lanes of traffic in one direction anywhere but there. Then the pucker factor hits. The speed limit doesn't go down, it goes up, and people are going faster. Thankfully, it's a short hop off to the hotel there, and I mean, it was such an amazing experience. It blinked and it was over, and it was gone. It was like a wedding, like getting married. It was like one of those days. It blinks and you blink and it's over. But Thursday night, we ended up having dinner in the hotel. And I don't want to get too deep into the whole story of the whole convention. We drove, basically. And it was a pretty uneventful drive and got to our hotel. And we were going to do the whole 4 days. But I want to hand this off to Chris. And I want to hear what was pretty much like when that con opened up. Like when you got into Chicago, what was on your top to-do list as far as experiences or con information or con stuff?
For con, I'd be lying if I didn't say to meet everyone around here. Like at top of the list was the entire reason why I decided to make the trek to C2E2 was to meet these people and to actually meet some other guys that I don't have that much of a relationship with, but a lot of their content I thoroughly enjoy. The only one I actually never got to meet was Jack, aka Mr. Bolo. It was actually Jack that turned me onto the idea of buying this book. So if he's still watching this, Jack, thanks, my man. I really appreciate your content. With that said, I wanted to try and find a big boy book. I either had in my mind try to get Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1 or Amazing Spider-Man issue #2, and I brought some books to try and trade or whatever. I just wanted to get a flavor of the floor before I did anything. And do you want me to tell the story, Andy?
Absolutely.
So I hit the con floor Saturday morning. I had breakfast with some of my brothers and hit the con floor. And I bring myself my Hulk 180. I won this Hulk 180 from Torpedo Comics. It was an 8.5 and the Mark Druller's insert variant. So I decided I'm going to get myself a low-grade copy of this just to keep the trilogy of Wolverine's first appearance, but I need to knock off ASM 1 or ASM 2 or the ASM Annual 1 to finish my run of Amazing Spider-Man 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So I went and I tried to hammer out a deal at Dave and Adams for a 5.5 copy, of the Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. And I was there for about 10 minutes before the guy who actually controlled the book finally said, you know what, my man, I can't do it. I can't pull the trigger. I just can't do it. We have 5 or 6 copies of the Incredible Hulk 180. The Mark Druller's insert is going to be something that's going to be really hard to move. He listed a few excuses, and I just said, hey, man, all good. I was that close to knocking off the 1B on my list. So I literally walked 6 feet across the aisle to the vendor to the left.
Just somebody that doesn't have the worst mystery boxes ever.
Right. The one to the left of David Adams, who's in Buffalo, New York, by the way. Shout out Buffalo Bills. And I basically looked up, and what did I see? An ASM 2. Now, I approached the owner of the booth. I told him what was up. I said, hey, man, I'm working on 1 to 10. I have this big boy book. I'm willing to work out a deal. You want to trade? You want to talk money? Let's talk. And he took a look at it, and he looked up at a different portion of his booth. And sure enough, 2 Incredible Hulk 180s, a 7.5 and an 8.0. My 8.5 would have been his best one. Obviously, though, the Mark Jewelers seems to make people nervous. Anyways, 2 minutes later, I decided to walk away. And when I walked away, I had this in my hand.
Woo!
Very nice.
Yeah. That's
No, hold on. Put that back up. I'm being a terrible host.
That's right. He stole it, people.
You know, Chris, and just in our normal spirit, I for a few moments I thought I was going to walk away with a 3.0 version of that. Well, I was there
Really?
I thought I was, but it didn't happen, and I was like, oh, I so wanted to do it just to be able to come back on our show, and when you pulled that out to flex all over you, just to keep up our rivalry, but I wasn't able to pull the trigger.
But with that said, I also a little while later, because I missed out on that steel cover of We Live #1, which was a con exclusive. I believe it just sold out Friday. As Andy reaches over,
Yeah, certain people grab like all of them.
and I did not get one, but I decided because it's my favorite story of the last couple of years, I found one for $100. $100, and I decided, yep, all right. I don't know if this is worth more or worth less, but I've never seen one before graded 9.8 that I could try and make a deal on. They were selling it for $125. I offered a $100 bill. They took it. And I'm very happy to have the Miranda Brothers masterpiece, We Live #1. Now, I did get a bunch of books signed by Jenny Frison. One got submitted. I got the Wonder Woman by Rose Besh. I got that signed and I submitted. But the final book that I just want to give, show a little bit of props to, is from this handsome fellow directly below me. Him and I have been talking for a couple months. He showed a David Nakayama book that he picked up, and I said, hey, man, I love that cover. You think you can do something for me when you get it in? And sure enough, we worked out a little private deal, and instead of shipping it all the way here to the Great White North, I finally got to shake the man's hand, and he slipped this into my backpack. So, Nick, thank you very much. This is King in Black, Venom versus Carnage 2, the Nakayama take on MJ, and I love it.
If you did a Stranger Things or a Strange Academy to go along with it, a red one, you let me know. Cause
I will.
I tried to put that outfit for him. I tried to put it on for him, but his wife was with him, so he didn't want to hear anything about it. So.
Hey,
Ruby Q, baby.
Oh,
yeah.
And Angel 2.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome,
What's going on, everybody.
Remy and Angel, the one person I got to make out with all weekend, Remy.
Yes.
More
And
than-
the only person I wanted to make out with.
more
What?
than-
Boo.
Hey, hugs were okay, but kisses, those were reserved for one gentleman.
Oh, Rennie Q, who managed to piss off Robert Kirkman's brother without even knowing it.
Yeah, everybody in the chat and everybody watching live and or on the replay, y'all have to buckle up because we haven't even gotten to the best part. the nighttime, the ends of every day, the best stories are coming. Chris, man, those are some epic pickups. Are you ready to roll with Rob? See if he picked up anything?
let's roll, Rob.
Well, yeah.
People, you're going to be here a while.
Well, no, I'm not going to go through everything in deep detail. Actually, I was missing of all the Secret Wars. I was missing a 1, so I was able to pick up a 1. It's labeled a blue Galactus error. I don't remember.
I was there when you got that book.
Yeah, it was $30, so whatever.
Galactus Error.
Paid 25. I don't know. I love my mystery in space stuff. I was able to pick up some pretty cool, freaking old mystery in space things that were in there, because rockets, ships, and bubble helmets, and ray guns, and jetpacks. And then of course, everything's good when you have a exploding World War II cover, some Golden Age stuff. We had fun with So this was actually Captain Tootsie issues 1 and 2. This is complete. This is the complete run. It was a 2-issue run. We found this was a joke a little bit, but because Tyler was there working all his Tootsie stuff. But you know, I actually had to do some research on the character and found out, you know, this was a character created by the Tootsie Roll company originally, and he like Popeye, he would get power from a little power up from eating a Tootsie Roll. And
Are you serious?
yeah, it
Don't
was
we
like
all?
it was like the regular it was like a regular kind of a periodical strip, and they did kind of an advertising comic strip, but in these they tried to make him into a real hero, and they removed the advertisement aspect, so there's no Tootsie Rolls in here, but he's still Captain Tootsie, and his sidekick is still Rolo, like little Rolos from the same company. But anyway, so yeah, those some golden age fun crazy stuff. You know, I only picked up one slab. I'm like this slam guy, supposedly. I only picked up one slam while I was there. And it was just a cheapo, but it's a Steve Ditko Space Adventures bubble helmet rocket ship. Fun stuff.
Love it. Love
know,
it.
That's beauty.
So, you know, he grabs Ditko art for next to nothing. You know, that's always fun. But the one thing that I didn't think I was going to do while I was there was really do anything to my ASM collection, as I've been working on my sub ASM 100s. But I managed to pick up a handful while I was there, and not completely get abused in the process. Now, most of them are in the upper end where I needed run fillers anyways. You know, the pre-code stuff. These aren't prices I paid by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, you get some of those in there. These are all really nice. Actually, they're all probably, a lot of these are the price 7.5 range.
It's a great cover,
roughly.
the Prowler. Great
Yeah.
cover.
Many untold books.
You know, so you just start clocking issues. Fortunately, I needed a lot of these upper runs.
That's awesome. Now, were those all from one place, or did you?
No, so a lot of them I got a chunk from one place, but
Ooh.
yeah, that's a nice one. And you know, but now we get to the after I picked up most of those were pretty much done on I don't know, Friday probably. Friday I did a lot of in the beginning of the day was nothing but get signatures. Knocked out all the books I brought with me to get signed, get them all done, and get them sent off. Saturday I decided was going to be a day I was going to go look for ASM 31. And I went around, first appearance of Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn. And I went around and I looked at every booth and probably multiple times looking at what they had, every issue that was on that floor, the condition, pricing, and everything else. And wow, were there some wide variety on pricing. I mean, one guy handed me a book. He said, "Oh yeah, this is a 5.0. It's $1,100," and I just handed it right back to him. But I did manage to pick up
Nice.
a nice ASM 31, and then feeling that I was probably done with my budget that I had went in there going, because I wasn't really going intent on super crazy stuff. I remember my wife said, "Hey, you should pick up something. Maybe you should pick up something to give yourself for Christmas from me." And I said, "Okay, great. How much were you looking to spend?" And she gave me a number and reminded me I could also go, you know, to borrow for my birthday gift fund. And that's where I found that ASM2 initially, Chris. But I thought, when I was looking across, I thought it had a different price on it from Old Man Eyes. And when they handed me the slab, I saw the figure was completely different. It wasn't 1K, it was 4K. And I said, but another one I need to pick up on my list, I ended up picking up. Picked up second appearance of the Green Goblin, ASM 17. And actually, this was a bundle deal with one of those mystery in space things, but I was able to pick up a ton of these, and now I'm pretty much stuck on just the super expensive books nowadays.
Yeah, those are epic pickups, man. I always love those sub 100 Spider-Man issues. The greens that they use in the covers are just so eye-catching to me.
A lot of those, that's what I love about a lot of the early Silver Age and the late Golden Age. The colors, the inks that they were using on the colors on those covers are just beautiful, especially the purples and the reds and the blues and the yellows. Just they pop.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well, man, let's roll right on to Taylor, man. How did your Friday morning start out, and what were you beelining for immediately?
Nothing. No, yeah. Honestly, I wandered aimlessly until some bald guy punched me in the arm, and I was like, "What the?" Then I realized it was Rob, but you couldn't tell it because he has glasses off and his facial hair covered. And I was like, "Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah." There's nothing like completely different with the mask on. So I butted in line and jumped on ComicMan's line and bought some stuff to flip because I'm a dirty flipper. And yeah, I was on the hunt for one book all weekend. And I couldn't find it. I was looking for My Greatest Adventure number 80, and nobody had one. So I picked up 2 slabs that I don't have with me because I didn't plan for this. So I got a Swamp Thing number 2 and a Long Shot number 1 newsstand first print, and 2 little nice. minor keys, and that's kind of about it. But I did get some. If anybody wants any shiny goodness, you let me know because I've got.
Ooh,
yeah. Also,
the metal. Those are metals, right?
Those are the metals. Yeah. I got this one's really hard to find. 1 of 300. I got 1 of these left. See, yeah, this is just me a sales pitcher now. I got the We Live mask variant set.
Those were nice.
First appearance of the Abyss. Oh, and actually these I'm holding on to. These are like By the Horns number 1 that I got signed. That in the variant. So, but yeah, I didn't pick up a lot. I was really there just to meet some YouTubers and hang out and do evil shots of things and all that. So yeah. Yeah, Malort. Yes.
What is no? Okay, no, wait, hold on. I'm looking forward to getting to that point of the story because I gotta hear what happened and what is Malort. But we'll get there.
Nobody knows.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So,
shot.
Is it a shot?
It's a shot.
Yes.
Technically, it's a digestif, but it tastes like I don't know what it tastes like. It's awful. Yeah. It's the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth, and I've had many misadventures in my youth. So.
Well, we're gonna skip over Nick while
Yeah.
I've got a chance to skip over Nick because we haven't even really spent much time introducing Remy and Angel yet. We spent just a moment, but we want to know, man, and lady.
DJ Lex.
Oh no, here we go. Did you guys fly? Did you guys drive? And when you got up Friday, what was the first thing you guys were beelining for?
Just getting there.
Yeah, we flew, and you know what? The flight was great, and O'Hare Airport was not. So for us, it was a struggle to get to the hotel, and then it was a question on are we even going to make it there the first day? But I was determined. Angel was determined. So yeah, we definitely made it there. I think similar to what Taylor said though, we weren't on the hunt for anything in particular. Like I was there to hang out, meet everybody. If I happened to see something great, but yeah, there wasn't a particular book or anything that I was like, I've got to pick that one up. So
yeah.
Adrian's a filthy liar, by the way. It is not fantastic. Anyway, sorry.
Well, DJ said it was the wolf from the Neverending Story.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's nothingness.
That kind of seems to be the consensus as of lately, the last couple of conventions getting to a point where we can at least go. And whether or not it's the same convention we're used to a few years ago, at this point, everybody just wants to go. And more people you're hearing. I wasn't looking for anything particular. I stumbled on some stuff, but I was there to meet friends and meet people.
Yeah.
And then you get people like Rob and Chris who were more structured. And I wish I was that structured because wait till you see how crazy my weekend was. But I want to hear from Austin real quick because I'd love to continue skipping over Nick. Because Austin, we welcomed you in, but hadn't really just waited. Hasn't even started yet. Austin, man, I'm rolling down the highway, I'm rolling down the hallway, like beelining somewhere. I can't remember. And then all of a sudden, the elevator door opens. No, you guys were walking up to go. You guys popped out of an elevator, and it was you and your wife or your girlfriend. And I was like, oh my God, he did make it.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. Again, I was there just to meet everybody. I wasn't after any big boy books or anything like that. Got a couple books to kind of fill some holes and some runs, but nothing too crazy. But Yeah, it was good to see everybody.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not laughing at. I'm laughing at the comments. I'm not laughing at everyone's
No.
heartfelt stories.
Yeah, this
Oh.
legit, like for us, this was our first con, so it was.
Yeah, mine too. Really,
we've never been before. We've always talked about going to one, and so it was like.
And we had one come up kind of like right before COVID, and then it like
and
kind
then
of
it
shut
just
down.
fell through. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried about the next one. Like I feel like it's gonna suck now. Like this
It will
was-
when the
this was
crowds
one
return, and it's not. I like the
Yeah.
fact that it was
massive,
thinned
like
out.
everybody was there. Now it's just gonna be like,
Oh, hey, it's you guys.
Great.
Yeah, I feel like we could have even contacted C2E2 and got our own booth and just had everybody from Instagram and YouTube, one central location for people to sit down, hang out.
Just ask for donations to pay for the booth, and everyone just chill.
That's not bad. The booths are like $1,000 apparently. We could get that sorted.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that like I mean, all you need is 20 people to pop in $50.
Yeah, we can all start flipping our punchline number ones.
We're gonna get to Nick next, Nick, because I love poking fun at you, but I know you flew, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your story getting out. And I know I'm pretty sure you were beelining for some stuff. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, see what I was looking for was
and the secret was
and what I paid was.
No, you know what? I've been to a few cons before, and honestly, I've never liked them. I never liked the price consumer dynamic of it all. And if I had to go to a con, it always had to be something special to draw me in. The last con I was at was 2012, and I went specifically to meet Stan Lee and sit in a very small room with him and listen to him talk. So this one is pretty close to that for me in terms of how special it was. In terms of books, I was looking for one book. I didn't want to get anything big. I thought pretty much either a Silver Surfer 4 or an ASM Annual 1 would be a big one if I did want to spend money. But I didn't want to spend money. So I knew John Jang was going to be there, and the one cover buy I was looking for was the Big Time Collectibles foil Darth Vader cover, which Mark from Legion of Comics assured me would not be there. He said with 95% certainty it would be there. And as I take this long to find it, you can probably know that I probably picked it up already.
You had skipped over how many times? You had all this time to prepare.
Wow.
Look at
Nice.
Yeah,
Nope.
but I thought I would be ready, and then Andy kept skipping me. So this is an artist proof. I don't even know what issue it is, but I knew I had to have it, and that's John's Stormtrooper remark and signature. So with this book in hand, I thought it'd be cool. That was good. That's off my list. Until I saw this one.
Oh,
Another one. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and John actually he just kills covers, and with the Vader remark, this is just icing on the cake.
Did he charge you for that?
No, and see, I mentioned this earlier. It was $60 for the comic,
right,
and only $40 for the remark.
Nice.
Okay, that's not bad. I said because he jacked me. He paid for the comic, then he jacked me. And after I bought a $150 print, he jacked me for another $15 for a signature.
Me too.
Right.
So
So
my stuff for free.
that's just
That's
awesome.
it. Although he's going to hand deliver the print to me.
Walking up and down the con, hitting Artist Alley, I stopped by Jay Lee, and Jay Lee, like his Inhumans work, Something Is Killing the Children work, was just fantastic. So I had happened by his booth where I met Paul Dunn. All right.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So honestly, from the moment I talked to Paul, for me, and I told him, he didn't know it, but he was my C2E2 best friend.
Aww.
And for that whole weekend, I'm still man crushing on Paul. was like, all right, cool. I'll stop by Jay Lee. I'll get a cute little remark, and then I got.
That's cool.
And I only say it's a cute little remark because if you know what Paul pulled out day after day and what kind of sketches and art he got, this is just a tiny little cute little thing that a famous artist did. So that was my second to last. My convention grail
That's so cool, man.
was this bad boy right here. All right. And for those who don't know,
Yeah.
in fact, two of the panelists are here that helped create this book, who got this book. This is an Austin LeMay, his first cover art for Blasting and Stashing for something Mr. Pocan Joe collaborated with the other members of that crew. So I knew a good deal of us in our little circles were going to be there. So I had wanted to have everybody sign this book. I have 4 or 5 copies of this book. So Saturday night, I would guess we would get to that story as well. But every single person who was there signed this book. And to me, that means more than anything that I could have picked up that weekend. And especially meeting guys like Mr. Alex Wink Inc., who did the tie remark. How nice that is. JPG from that Spider-Man booth. Skeff, I was just talking about the whole time. I want to meet him, want to find out how he gets all those 9.8s and try to pick up what he left behind. And just everybody, Taylor, of course, Mrs. Angel, who's even branding herself, Rant or Rave, Remy, all the YouTube creators, everybody who was there hanging out at Fat Floors that night signed this book. And I need 2 more signatures for me to make this complete. I think from those people who helped make this book happen. And then I'm going to sign it myself and get a yellow label over at CBCS, and it'll be in my PC forever. Yeah, he's always busting chops.
Oh, my heat.
Couple other con exclusives. This one.
Ooh. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. DJ Links, for putting me onto this one.
It's a big boy book now.
This one also.
Yeah.
Also,
that was
yeah.
awesome.
So pretty awesome. So I mean, if I got some exclusives, I got my Blasting and Stashing signed from everybody, and just meeting everybody made this probably one of the top 10 moments of my life. So thank you, everybody.
Agreed.
There's
Welcome,
the troublemaker.
Pocan Joe.
What's going on, everybody?
What is up, man? We were just going around the horn asking everybody. We can welcome you in and ask you the same question. Moving. Hold on. What was that?
I'll let Joe tell the story. I'll show what it is, but if Joe wants to tell the story,
Sure.
Microchip.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. Yeah.
Joe can tell the story. Yeah, pretty much everybody in the channel's got one on them anyway.
I was gonna say, yeah, Andy, you went home with one too, so
Yeah. That's why I was held up at the border for so long.
There you go.
What book was that?
I got more. No, what we did is we did the NFC chip. So when your phone gets next to it, it will pop up one of my videos. And I strategically planted them all through Chicago. So my melon.
Freaking evil genius.
By the way, an update on that. YouTube has caught me, and everything on Evil Air, they backed all the hours, the watch hours, back to 1,000. They did that today. I was like,
Oh man.
Back to the drawing board.
Don't worry, more's coming.
Phase 2.
Did
forgot to, like,
you end up flying, Joe? You flew, Joe, didn't you?
Yeah.
How did that
Well, I
go for
did.
you?
The pilot did. I was just
Oh,
sitting.
God damn it.
Yeah, did everybody remember to check themselves like for stickers, like you're checking for ticks?
I still haven't turned my NFC on my phone back on yet because I turned it off before I left the house, knowing I was going to be in Joe's proximity. And until I can do a clean sweep for bugs, I'm not turning my NFC back on.
When my bag got separated from everybody else's in the line, I was like, oh.
What did he do?
Where's it at?
Same,
How
Randy. Same.
many? Yes.
Good time.
Joe,
Good time.
I saw you hunting, man. Did you pick up anything, too?
Yeah, I have it right here. I was going to do a whole video tomorrow, but I'll run through it real quick. So I picked up a Planet Tootsie.
But only the first issue. You didn't get the second issue.
No, I don't need 2 issues of a Golden Age book. I'm not going to read it.
It's actually a pretty rough read, anyways.
Yeah. I got the Superman set of that cover.
Oh,
I
that's
got these-
yeah.
Yeah. And then I got the Wonder Woman Black and Gold con exclusive.
Oh, man, jealous.
I got myself a banana issue.
Ah,
Oh, man.
I didn't even know that one was out there.
It's sold out within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I got this one right here too, Steel, with Joker riding the horse. I love that. That was pretty cool. And that was day 1. And day 2, and I'll show you what my Grail book was, the big Grail book that I got. So I got a Brewster Gold #1.
Ooh.
Transformers #1.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Omega Man. And I was surprised I didn't have this book.
What? Did you buy these and like run up to the room and stash them? Or what? I never saw you with books.
I took my bag to the VIP room, to the coach
Where were you
room,
hiding
VIP
this?
room.
In a secret
Hulk
stash
250
in a brick
is for
somewhere.
the cover.
It's awesome.
He had a removable brick.
And 234.
Yeah.
Spec book, I guess. X-Men 125.
ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, and when I had to pick up the 120 to go with it. And then, of course, 111. But my Grail book, my ultimate, my #5 slab book.
That's
Yes.
so cool.
Yeah.
I felt
Nice.
so bad. I felt so bad. How do I, at almost 50 years old, have problems spelling the word villain?
Or look it up before you.
And I picked this pop-up for my wife who already had it. So now I still got to go buy her a
Oh
Christmas gift.
no.
That's
Oh,
bad research,
Rocket.
Joe.
Oh,
Open it up. Hey, Joe, just open it up, draw a mustache on it, and then close it back up so it's a new one.
Ooh.
They
variant.
put some
It's the
glow
fat-
powder
It's
on
the
it.
it's the
Don't
Rob
do
Fat
that.
Stacks variant
As a wife,
edition.
don't do that.
Mhm.
Just paint it gold or some other color.
Oh yeah, because we're fooled easily by a shiny thing.
Yeah, that was my haul. And honestly, I only got all that because the 2 books I went there for, they somebody bought them out from underneath me. So I was
Yeah,
like,
sorry
I got
about that,
cash.
Joe.
Did we get everybody? It's been
We
just
didn't
a
hear
whirlwind
you.
of books. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to get yelled at. I don't want to get yelled at. Like everybody else though, we were planning this trip as a. I had unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I made that very, very short notice decision to run to Baltimore, and going to Baltimore, that was our Chicago budget. And that was my birthday present. And this Chicago trip was going to be our Christmas present to each other. So we didn't have a Chicago budget at all. We were, if we saw like a Walking Dead 1 that we could afford, maybe that might be the only thing. But we were realistically just going to spend time with everybody. Much like that train that we were on for Detroit and getting to spend time with people at Motor City Comic Con. Then being able to, that was so energizing that I didn't want to miss out on Baltimore. I had so much FOMO that Friday watching everybody post everything. I just got in the vehicle and left, spent the Chicago budget there. We couldn't miss out on the Chicago trip. And that's really what it was, is it was going to be about 4 days about spending time with people. But getting there, getting on the floor Friday, first thing in the morning, come to find out through some channels was that this book was going to be available again.
Oh.
So that Blue Metal We
Come
Live.
on.
Well, I'm kind of jealous now that I didn't get a 9.8 for $100 We Live #1, because that would have been
That was-
great to have.
That was
You guys could trade even up.
straight up.
Well, that's what these were going for $100 now. At that point at that show, the price had gone up a little bit. They only had a couple available, so I know basically they sold out right away on Friday, and then they were reserving a couple of copies on Saturday. That was just you had to walk by the Aftershock booth to get to the Whatnot booth, pretty much. And I'm like, oh, look what's sitting there. And like the guys were like, see, told you. And everything else was kind of like an afterthought of picking up books. Like this whole trip for us was like spending time with people, but then also because Whatnot made a commitment to be there and did a booth setup, I had an opportunity to try to sell with Whatnot live from the show floor. Well, then watching people go on Friday, I started to think the juices started flowing a little bit. I'm like, well, let's see what else is out on the floor. And sure enough, I ended up at the Comic Mint right like 10, 15 minutes before they open. So I was able to get the Do You Poo covers, the Chronic, and the Michael Jordan rookie card. But also Ryan from Rhino's Comic Reviews needed this Venom cover.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it is super pretty. And I told myself I'll go back and get it some other time. And then that's when somebody in line said, hey, you're the first person in line now, and they're doing this stealth drop. So I stayed for those. Then I'm sitting there staring at that little thing they have on the front. And I was like, oh, that's a beautiful Rose Besh cover. Grab that for the wife for Christmas. Then I saw that hollow foil or that chrome Star Wars Insider with the Mandalorian on the front. And I'm like, how do you not get that? How do you not grab that too? So I grabbed that for the next thing I knew. We're like spending our dinner money and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh crap. But that was pretty much it. Went to Source Point. Found Source Point on Saturday. And I'm kind of skipping a little bit. We're going to come back to the tail end of Friday. Source Point had the Good Boy covers out.
Oh.
They had the Good Boy chromium cover, and then they had the Good Boy metal cover. And I just sat there drooling like the canine on the cover, like just staring at these things. And I realized I don't really collect Good Boy stuff, but I'm really digging the art. And I'm like, how many other people out there are really in love with this book and actually want to collect it? Like, let me grab a set and put it on Whatnot, because this thing, it ended up, all of those copies, the metal and the chromium, sold out like within the first hour or two of the convention. And I'm like, I might not need to keep them, but if I put them on Whatnot, somebody else gets a chance at them, right? Well, then, it was Garrett Gunn. He caught wind of what I was thinking about and what was going on with Whatnot. He ended up remarking and signing each and every one of those books for the Whatnot sale. And then when I turned around and I was getting those remarks, I grabbed ash cans and cover A's for those winners too and popped those in free of charge. And I'm like, let's just made these sweet little Good Boy packages for these guys. And I can't wait for them to get them in the mail. But yeah, I didn't grab a lot of books. And I was like trying to come up with a plan to record content. And in the end of the day, it was just like Baltimore. I'd walk 5 steps, run into somebody. It was perfect. Well, let me shut off the camera. I don't need to burn the battery if we're going to talk for 20 minutes. But just catching those interactions, walking up to people, it was, I don't know how I'm going to get a video together, like an actual like content, like a 15-minute recap video for the walkthrough, because I mean, we could have all just gotten a booth and sat down and got right next to the yard and just had them bring the beers from the yard over. And we all would have had still an amazing con. And I don't know about you guys, but I walked like 6-7 miles a day.
Oh my gosh.
3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We found out about the bus.
That's enough for me for the moment.
That Wolverine 3 homage for Good Boy, I regret not getting that one. Yeah. And I think I put in a bid that went for over $200, didn't it?
Yeah, the metal cover went for in the 220s, and I think the chromium was like 211. Yeah. And I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely astounded. And that's the thing that I like about Whatnot, is providing opportunities for other people that aren't there. But then all of a sudden, when something like that gets hot, it's gone, just literally gone. Even the Do You Poo covers, I think, are now $150 to $200 on eBay, the asking prices.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I kind of want to talk about maybe later on in the show, not necessarily this moment. We'll continue on with the kind of rolling through the experience into Friday night, but the collectible side of the convention, Funko Pops, figures, other things, shoulder to shoulder, couldn't walk on Saturday. Even as big as some of those aisles were back in the like AEW in the wrestling section back there, packed. You go to the comic book section, there's like nobody there. It's like the only comic book retailers that I saw that had regular customers standing in front, or at least seemed kind of busy, were people that had heavy loads of modern books. So that's a thought I had to myself that I definitely would like to talk about more at some other time. But I don't want to keep these people waiting any longer to get into the Friday shenanigans, because I feel like I missed out quite a bit on Friday, but I definitely got a taste of it on Saturday.
What happened on Friday?
Uh,
I don't remember that day.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
well, Friday was
I was just
down.
kidding. I was like, I don't
So,
remember that day.
Yeah, Friday started off actually was it was, the shenanigan story starts actually with Small Town Collectibles, who's not here. He and never could figure it out. Arrived
1 o'clock.
sooner than expected, early in mid afternoon, and went over to Fat Pour to have a beer.
And apparently banged on the windows whenever people would walk by and nobody heard them. I missed it completely. He saw me walk by.
Yeah.
So he was there and
it's gone.
Yeah,
we were
there
in a hot
for
rush though. We were like power walking.
I completely forgot about Friday night.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm trying to erase it myself.
They were there. They started off the day in the afternoon, and they went through several waitresses, right? And they tipped. You know, the waitresses went on and off shift. They tipped them out, but they hadn't closed their tab. They kept their tab running, and then as the evening came on, more of us started dribbling in, and tables started getting pushed together. And next thing you know, there's standing room only in this place on a Friday night, and everybody's getting there. And so there was a variety of different conversations and drinks, and the poor staff, for them, it's like on who's on what tab, and there's 27 different tabs going, and it was just
I drank so much on Friday night that I didn't drink for the first hour or so that we met up on Saturday night.
Well, but and for some of these guys, I mean, really, they had started Thursday night. You guys had closed out the bar the Thursday night. I understand. I mean, I wasn't there, but
I thought they were definitely going to kick us out Saturday. Like, see us coming. Like, no, I'm sorry. Just leave.
Saturday was different. But so anyways, I guess a bunch of stuff went down Friday. Crazy, went on, and at one point, a couple of the guys take off to go get cigars. I'm hearing this second story. Someone else was there chime in because I had already paid my tab and had left because I was just going to go get change. But then old man sat down and legs said, "You're not getting back up."
I guess I'll tell the story, Austin, and on behalf of everyone else here. Some of you may or may not know that I'm actually a cigar connoisseur. I've been all across North America for cigar festivals and that kind of thing. And the one thing I wanted to do when I arrived was have a cigar with a bunch of dudes. So I pulled out 3 quick cigars and I said, "Who's up for it?" Austin Lay, who was standing right beside me. "Chris, I'm in, my man. Let's go." So it was Jimmy, Austin, myself, Tyler from Whack Comics, and Chip rolled up in his 5.0.
Yeah.
So we're standing out. So we step outside, right, Austin, just onto the patio there, and we light up, and we're having a cigar. And one of the young ladies that works at the bar popped her head out and said, "Sorry guys, but you can't smoke here." So, as some of you may or may not know, Friday night was incredibly windy and wet in downtown Chicago. So we're looking around, and right across the street from this hotel is the McCormick place itself. So they had, like some decent coverings and everything. So the guys, we walked across, literally just right across the street, and finished our cigars. We were talking comics, talking YouTube, having a good time, and unbeknownst to us is that the waitress that was handling the table didn't like the fact that some of us disappeared and made it look like that we pulled the D&D special by donning and dashing. And from what I heard was that there was an international incident going down and that I could be in trouble on my way back to Canada.
Is that what you said?
I didn't say that.
Remy down here called me up and I didn't know that my phone rang and said, "Hey, Chris, like you're in trouble." But anyways, the truth of the matter, what it was, is that a lot of people have actually paid their tabs, but the staff refused to let these patrons go just because myself, Austin, Jimmy, and Tyler stepped outside for a cigar.
Well,
and
Jimmy
they
had
ha-
8 hours worth of tab going
Yeah.
too.
Right.
So,
Well,
like,
let's be honest. They were after Jimmy more than us.
yeah.
they basically held these people hostage. Like, I know Remy and Angel had some plans or whatever, and they
No,
refused to let them go. And then I felt terrible, so I
No,
messaged
no,
Remy
we didn't
and
have
I'm
any
like,
plans. We're
and I
old.
I
was-
thought that the waitress was very helpful.
No, that's
she was
you
very
were not
attractive.
looking at her.
She was very knowledgeable,
No.
And Remy was very
and the
concerned and
menu.
kept going outside to look for you guys,
she's
which
like,
happened to
I mean,
annoy
and
the
the thing is,
patron
we
next
could
to
have
the
left,
table
but I
next to
didn't
us.
want to leave. You know, the other wife just sitting there because I've been there, and
Yeah.
it was like, she kept going up and being like, well, nobody can. You guys, someone has to stay here. You can't leave because people are gone. And she was like, my husband's not even here. I'm not leaving. And it was like, girl, just take a deep breath. Nobody's leaving.
It's not what I experienced at all. She was very helpful to me.
She was not helpful. She was not
Wonderful.
helpful to you. She was just
Wonderful.
She just had
Wonderful young lady.
yeah,
Well, the
right.
beard,
She had
the
a mask
bearded
on. She
gentleman at the
probably had
table next
two
door.
teeth going this way. She was probably a snaggletooth old witch.
Yeah, a lot of the women at the table were very upset with her. I don't know why. I thought she was very helpful. She was very helpful. She just wanted to make
She
sure
wanted to make
everybody
sure
was
she didn't
okay.
get stiffed on a $400 tab.
I'm okay with that.
Maybelline and hair dye. That's why you
But
thought she was
Remy, in his
Maybelline.
concern for humanity, kept going outside to look and see if he could find them, and you opening one of the side doors that apparently caused a gentle breeze to blow over the table next to us.
Oh yeah.
And that individual got rather annoyed, and he was a big bearded burly fella who you'd think could handle it, but apparently not. And he happened to be Big Clutch, Robert Kirkman's brother, who really kind of hated us all.
Which I didn't realize until I left when I heard the "Come on, man!" again. You know, it was like letting the breeze in.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
So I totally went out that door behind
obviously
you
he
guys.
didn't drink enough, or it wouldn't have been that cold.
I mean, also the dude's got a beard down to his belly button and weighs 3 bills. If he's that cold, I don't know what to tell you. So sorry, Clutch.
So the shenanigans were that we upset this poor waitress or whatever to enjoy a fine cigar, you know, enjoy the company literally across the street underneath these flags that we all thought were just going to take off in the wind anyway.
Well, let me tell you what. If you would have answered Jeremy's call, that would have been a different story.
I still would enjoy the cigar.
Yeah,
I would happily piss that waitress off again to have another cigar with you, Chris.
Thank you, Austin.
I wouldn't
Ditto, my
mind
man.
if you pissed her off either. She was a hateful effer.
Yeah, well, I figured we were a decent percent of the bar that night. Like that's kind of I thought that was unusual. Thinking about the next day, I was like, man, I know it was pretty packed in there, but I mean, we had a sizable group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a dick
Like
move.
you would
We
think
just kind
that
of
you
went
would
in there
want to
and
kind of
took
piss off
tables
the
together.
group that we had. Yeah,
You're
like,
right, Joe.
yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Man, it sounds like
And
I
that's
missed
like
on-
I think one of the reasons why we also stayed, because I wanted to kind of piss her off. What the hell with you? I
There
mean,
was a-
I'm a waitress, and people, you know, we weren't like rambunctious or like loud.
No.
I mean, you guys went and did a cigar thing, but it's not like you guys I mean, everyone was like, dude, they're coming back. Like, they didn't, like, oh, yeah, they just dashed half the party.
I think Jimmy paid the rent for that for the month with his tab. Nah. But yeah, you know what? Honestly, Andy, there was a lot of love that night. It was a lot of handshakes and hugs. You know, it was just a lot of strangers coming together as family. It was a wonderful thing to witness and to be a part of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was the day
it
where
was
most
chaos,
of us
but it
got there, I
worked out.
think. So,
Yeah.
like a couple of folks had trickled in Thursday, but Friday was the big day where like again, a larger amount of people had showed up. So
we missed out on that Friday bit of shenanigans. Jimmy the Geek Aficionado only had that night to be there, and he wasn't going to be coming back for the weekend. So he actually picked up myself, my wife, Skeff's Comic Knowledge, Wink Inc., and who else? Paul Dunn. I'm drawing a blank. Paul. Oh, how could I forget Paul? And Jimmy's like, where do you guys want to go? What do you want to do? We all ended up landing on pizza, and so we went north of the river, and Illuminati's. It's not Illuminati's, but
The Mondaze.
Molinati's. Yeah, we went there and had a really good dinner, and I was kind of surprised. I mean, normally when you see some restaurants, if they're not busy, food's not usually much of a wait. I'm not accustomed to what it takes to make a Chicago pizza. The restaurant's maybe half full. And the waiter comes in, he's like, okay, it's about a half an hour worth of prep, and it'll be about an hour to cook the pizza, so it'll be about an hour and a half. And I'm like, really? Like legit an hour and a half? I'm like, there's nobody in here. It's not even that busy for this kind of. I'm like, yeah. In fact,
because they're baking a loaf of bread.
Yeah, it's like baking a lasagna. It takes an hour to cook.
It's also how you get your sales up with apps and alcohol.
Oh, that's true.
That's how they pull it off. Then I mean, lo and behold, it was worth the wait. But the best part is Jimmy, because he's from Chicago, had his own personal vehicle down there. He took us on a full hour-long tour. We got to see the tunnels where they filmed The Dark Knight Returns for the chase scene. We got to see that street with the battle scene with the Joker, and a few other really good spots, the Trump Tower, and all the spots kind of escaped me because it was a lot to take in really quickly. But like some of the shopping districts and areas like that, and
the Bean,
the what?
The Bean.
Yep. South Loop, North Loop, took us all over to a bunch of different shopping areas. And lo and behold, I mean, us being from West Michigan, we're on Eastern Standard Time. By the time we got back to that hotel, it was 11:30 Central. Well, that was 12:30 our time, and we're just dragging and dying trying to stay awake because otherwise we would have went over to Fat Pours or went to find some other people to hang out. And all I could think to myself was like, Saturday is going to be a big day and it's going to be busy. So we just went and did the old people thing and crashed in the room.
You did
I think at 10:30. Yeah, I think at 10:30 I was like, man, it's gotta be 2:00 in the morning. I looked at it, it's like 10:30, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am old.
I have to wake up because I being on the West, and Rob, I'm sure you can relate too. It was actually an hour earlier.
2 for me.
And 2 for Rob, and I was still kind of burned out at like 12:30.
What tripped us out, I think, Austin, at least for me, was first of all, you get screwed up because for us we're waking up at like 3 a.m. our time to wake up at 5 or whatever. But it's the you don't realize how much earlier it gets darker that latitude from where we're at, especially you're way lower.
Southern wusses.
No, but I mean, it's like freaking pitch black at 4:30 in the evening.
Yeah. Rob, I mean, I do it, yes, every day of my life in the winter for 4 months.
Right. Well, we're not used to that, so we're like, wait a second.
We also wear pants and socks and jackets and
wearing closed-toe shoes sucked. Let me tell you, man.
Yeah,
I was just glad to be
Tyler. Then you wear toe socks, which are just creepy.
I was just glad to be able to put my shorts on Saturday. Although I got some weird looks walking down the streets of Chicago in shorts and a t-shirt.
I was wearing shorts too. I mean,
I know.
It was a lot warmer than what I thought. I was actually kind
of.
It
was really warm.
I was sweating.
And I had like a big jacket on and everything, and then I've got luggage, and I was like, well, I'm burning up. Like
it was roasting in the con too.
This thing up. Yeah.
That was all I kept thinking about all year. Was like December in Chicago is going to be a nightmare, and then I get there, and surprisingly, other than the night, it was raining and 100-mile-an-hour winds.
The day that we got there was nice. The rest was. You can keep that Chicago shit weather. No, thank you.
And that's nice for December. I was really hoping it'd be like a blizzard, just cause.
I was expecting it
just to dig it in a little bit.
It's like
Paul Dunn down here. There's a tiki bar that a coworker of mine told me I needed to go to, and I'm pretty sure they're talking about the same one that Dinesh went to. Dinesh from Bad Idea, and it's supposed to be like a super amazing experience. I wish we would have went, but Josh was right. Josh is right. Fat Pours is kind of the new favorite for C2E2. By the time you get everybody in there hanging out, it was comfortable. The food was decent. It was close walking distance.
Yeah.
I'll just
maybe by
next
next C2E2 they won't remember us, so they'll let us come in.
Hey, they don't care. They like me. What are you talking about? And for clarity, it's and just for because it's Fat Poor Tap Works. So that way, if somebody is in Chicago, wants to check it out, wants to know, if you go looking Fat Poor's, you won't find it, but it's what we all call it. But it's Fat Poor Tap Works. In case you want to check it out.
True. And they have Malort.
Yes.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's awful.
But yeah, so I mean that was the. Yeah, by Friday night, at least they all had short memory too, and everything was a little bit different for Saturday at Fat Poor.
Oh yeah, I'm
until some crazy chick spilled a drink on comic books. Gosh, what a crazy person!
Oh no,
no respect.
Psychos.
Yeah, Friday night
outside.
Friday night definitely ended early for us. I got to do something extremely special Friday morning that I wasn't expecting. I was so amped and I was so energized for this whole convention experience that I didn't sleep hardly at all Thursday night into Friday. I think I got a couple of hour-long naps overnight. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, couldn't fall back to sleep, took a quick shower, realized I'm an adult. I do what I want. So I just made sure that I had a key on me, and I grabbed my stuff and I left. And that McCormick place is, the doors weren't locked.
Nope.
So I just walked down there and I'm like, I'll get breakfast at some point. The Starbucks will open up here, and just started walking around. And next thing I know, I'm on the con floor by myself. And I'm like, there's no security. I found a little chair and I sat there, and it was probably one of the most incredible convention experiences I've ever had. I sat in the middle of the convention floor on a chair by myself with not a single person in that room, and all I did was drink a cup of coffee.
What grails did you pick up while you were there? No.
Well, there weren't.
While you were there,
I didn't see any books out. I didn't go into anywhere like that. There were. I'm pseudo lying here. Well, actually, lying is lying. There were some security people floating around, right? But I just sat there at drinking a cup of coffee and just
looked like you were supposed to be there, and
I guess I must have owned that look, because I sat there and I enjoyed myself and it was peaceful. Maybe it's just I just looked old and fat in a chair and I just fit right into.
You look like you were there to do some loadouts.
There you go. But it was just really kind of cool to see everything get pieced together. I mean, Thursday, when you're there Thursday peeking in, they literally have box trucks and semis pulled into the floor, dumping everything out, and I'm like, this is really cool to see.
Yeah, how cons load in and out and stuff. It's really quite a lot of interesting logistics and stuff. But I was really kind of surprised in that they didn't usually, after they do those trucks pull in and they do all that offload, they usually then roll out carpet onto the floors. And I was dumbfounded to not. This is the first convention of whether comics or any other convention for work I've been to where it was just walk on the hard concrete floors.
Yeah.
And that was rough.
I remember seeing a ton of red carpet the last C2E2, and I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, I was surprised they didn't have carpet.
I wonder if that was a COVID thing or what, but yeah.
Availability too. Who knows? But that's all I wanted to touch bases on. That experience was fantastic before we roll into Saturday, because I want to hear from each and every one of you guys how your Saturday started and what it led into, because oh my God, there were tornadoes in the country, and hopefully things worked out, but man, I felt like I got spun right through that building the whole Saturday.
Okay.
I thought the weirdest thing to me was the lack. I couldn't believe the lack of signage. I mean, from day one there, actually, to be honest, when just Thursday, going back to to Thursday when we were there, you go get your go to get your COVID wristband or whatever, and no, unless you were staying at the Hyatt, it's like, even though these other hotels are connected to the bridges, there's no signs that tell you exactly which route to take to stay. You're just kind of meandering through the other convention building until you stumble upon where you might have to be. And I must have walked around the outside of the wrong building 2 or 3 times before I realized where I needed to go, because there wasn't any signage anywhere.
But before we get to that, can we talk about how indestructible those green wristbands were?
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, that was,
So mine kept falling off.
I had to use a razor blade to get mine off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cut mine off on when I was done.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna pull it. That didn't work.
I didn't know that these things they're one way. If you
Yeah.
cinch it down, it's
Yeah,
got
you're
teeth,
like
teeth in there, and it's really strong fabric that if you try to pull off, it's just gonna dig in.
yeah, she
But-
warned me when she put it on me. She said, "Don't make it any tighter, or you're not going to be."
Yeah, I did that. I got it so tight that I had to cut it off and have it replaced on
Now,
something.
were you guys picking it up at the entrance before the metal detectors, or were you going to the will call area first?
No, so
It's like we had
like
picked ours
Rob
up at the will call, and then when
Yeah.
we walked into that,
Correct.
I was like, "Is this it? Like this is terrible." Like,
yeah, because
it was huge, but it was just a giant will call. So
I stayed at the Hyatt, and right when I walked through the doors, they had tables set up, and it was right there.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think they had multiple spots. They just didn't tell you where the spots were. They just hoping that you happened upon them, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually
S100
find
call
just
or
going through the front
S1000.
door.
Yeah, it was in the email. If you read the email and then you cross-referenced it against a map on a different document, or downloaded the correct app and not last year's app, or
It was a map.
No, we didn't see the map until we were
Whoops.
leaving.
it's a whole different set of communications. They didn't put it all together. It was not how I would have done
You
it.
know, I will say this: as disorganized as a great many things were at the con, I feared that it was not going to happen at all for a period of time there. And you know that it did happen, and I had the opportunity to spend the weekend with you fine folks. I'll take being lost for 30 minutes. The whole experience was just irreplaceable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saturday, just left the building that I was staying at and walked through the front door, and I stopped for a second and saw a group of people walking that way, and I was like, always follow the crowd. And got right through it.
Yeah, it was harder for me to get into White Castle than it was the convention.
Yeah, I agree with that. We finally got some was Sunday night.
Yeah, that White Castle sucked. By the way, a message out there to White Castle: y'all suck.
I know, and I
I don't know what the
That was a
fascination
terrible
with White
experience.
Castle's
All the
horrible.
workers there, y'all suck.
There goes Andy's
Starbucks
movie.
wasn't any
I don't
better.
know where I could
Every-
leave my review, but that was awful.
Well,
Every
you're just mad.
Starbucks-
You're just mad. We went
Can't
in there, and I
pee?
was like,
Get
I was
outta
like,
here.
can I use the restroom? And she's like, I was like, what's the code for the bathroom? And he's like literally ordering food. She's
Yeah,
like,
you see, I'm ordering something here, lady.
she
Keep it
says,
moving.
well, you have to make a purchase. And I'm like, he's literally ordering food right now. Well, in that case,
Yeah.
Hey,
No, they're rude as
exact-
shit, no doubt.
If you're
That's
ever
why I
the,
there,
the code
it's
is
0606.
0606.
Write it down. I'm gonna post it everywhere. Pee all over the wall, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
Joe,
whatever.
get us an NFC chip. The code is. I had the same. I hated every Starbucks I went to. There was either closed or they
Oh my
were
gosh,
out of
don't
half the
even-
stuff that they.
You know
You
what?
wanted.
We had a Starbucks right next door. That
And I was like, oh my gosh,
free
I'm so
cash money,
excited. Yeah, but they were closed the first day.
They
when y'all
closed
went
at
to
2
Walgreens.
p.m.
Weird.
Yeah, we
Well,
tried
ours
to go
was
get.
closed at 6,
Yeah, that's right.
and it was
'cause we
7:30, and I was like, who closes a Starbucks at 6 o'clock?
I was able to have a late lunch with Rob on Thursday, and after that, we tried to hit up that Starbucks, and
2 p.m. It had been closed. You're like, what? Next thing you're adjacent to the hotel. I mean, it's the hotel's Starbucks, whatever. They have a connecting interior door. Close at 2 p.m.
I mean, ugh.
But anyways, back to your Saturday.
Don't be
Andy.
dissing Taco Bell like that, there, Joshua.
Okay, so this is something I'm sad that we didn't get the chance to do. Is there was a lot of talk of potential karaoke on Saturday. We never ran into or found a karaoke bar because that would have been a thing.
I found one. We found one walking to Chinatown.
I was told
And
I was
I was like,
promised
"Oh, look."
karaoke, and I was not given karaoke.
Well,
so
you guys are probably lucky because Jeremy's a phenomenal singer,
I'm a
but I am.
phenomenal.
But I am not.
I like that he almost got that out.
I'm a
He is. He
phenomenal
actually
singer.
is a good singer. I mean, he's not going to win any awards, but he doesn't suck. And I
You guys
suck
were
for real.
talking about Starbucks. I have a very new, real appreciation for Starbucks now, regardless of what time they close. Because Friday morning, and this is leading into Saturday morning, I got breakfast at that Hyatt Market. Oh my God, breakfast sandwich, bacon, egg, cheese, biscuit, or whatever it is, and threw it in my pocket and went walking. By the time I feel the thing cool off enough to eat, it was trash. It was a $9 sandwich that was straight trash. $9. I'm like, oh, so Saturday morning, I'm like, let's try out Starbucks. Wife's like, the line's really long. And I'm like, have you been watching this line? They've got a system. That's the fastest moving Starbucks line I've ever been a part of.
Oh,
and
man.
their Gouda, their cheese, and their bacon ciabatta rolls were phenomenal. And the kind of coffee guy that I am is if I'm near a Starbucks, I'll get the largest mug, the biggest, whatever they call the venti, of just straight Pike's Place roast black, nothing in it. And when that gets to that just under scalding temperature, I'll down the whole thing. That's my favorite Starbucks experience, and I was able to get that on Saturday and Sunday. I got a newfound appreciation for how fast they sling that Starbucks there in that McCormick place for as many people that were in and out of there. They did it pretty right.
Yeah, we didn't go because we were like, oh my God, that's
So
going
the
to take
line
forever.
was wild. Yeah, I didn't know
wish
it
I
was
would've
moving that
known.
fast.
It was super fast. I mean, that line at one point was coming all the way out to where you just turn into the security area. The line was starting right there. I think Paul Dunn and I were in that line for maybe 15 minutes.
That's probably because the other 7 were closed.
I can tell you that Friday we were walking around and I had to stop several times for a drink. And then Saturday I reviewed some of the tips that I had heard from phenomenal YouTuber on what to do if you're new to cons, and stay hydrated kept resonating in the back of my head. And so I made sure I stocked up on drinks in the backpack for day 2, and it saved me. It really did.
Yeah.
Because those $4 sodas or waters, whatever you want to get.
$11 rum and trash and gin.
Yeah, you don't want to get any of the alcohol there or anything. But
Oh my gosh,
bring
that
your
rum
own
and Coke
supplies.
was like,
Stay hydrated.
I had seen
burned
the
out my
same.
drink.
I had seen the same video too, Remy, and I was very glad because I brought a flask of vodka in that first day.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was pretty hammered that day. I almost pulled when I saw Andy for the first time, I almost pulled him off the escalator. That's how excited I was.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yes.
So first Remy and Angel and you were walking by and we were in the lobby and I was building my whatnot auction list. I saw you guys. I trip. I fall onto the floor and I'm like literally crawling and dragging myself to the window to get there before he gets. I'm pounding on that window. I'm like, no. So, and you had a flask of vodka too? Like, I didn't know what the rules were. I get all the way up there running to find you guys, and I'm like hoofing it. I'm like, it's time to go. And I get to security, and then I pull my backpack off, and I'm like, uh-oh, it's still in there.
They don't give a
So
shit.
I start going all the way back to put that flask back in the room. And then all of a sudden, there's Remy, Angel, and Nick. And this was the crispest, cleanest, movie-worthy, just 5 going down the escalator, and the fingers hooked, and we about pulled each other off of the escalator. I'm like, that was so dope. And I get back all the way back to the room. I put it in there, and I'm like, okay, go running all the way back. The security guard looks at me. I'm like, hey, man, sorry. I forgot a flask in my bag. Like, I'll be dead honest with you. Because he asked me why I left. Because I was right there at the x-ray machine. He looks at me. He's like, I don't care.
There's no sign posted that says you can't bring alcohol in.
And I
Of course.
realized that there were no signs stating any of that. And they're selling
True.
alcohol on the
In your
floor.
defense, there was
cart
also
around
no
every corner.
well, and in your defense, there was no sign that said no guns or knives either, and that's obviously what they were checking for. But
It's
Right.
Chicago. No, that's pretty much a give me. Not no guns, no knives.
Yeah.
The hands down to those guys, or hands up, or just I really appreciated those security guys and how efficiently they move people through there. And I think they were very appreciative of how easy of a weekend they had, because I feel like the attendance was cut in half.
Yeah.
yeah, the floor did not seem very crowded at all. I loved it. I thought it was perfect. You had enough people there that it was busy, but not so much that you felt like you were constantly like squeezing through trying to get past everybody, you know.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, I never felt like it was overpacked. Like even looking for a spot to sit down or something if you wanted a bite to eat or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like there was plenty
Plenty
of
of
room.
tables at this con.
Yeah.
That's usually a complaint I have with cons. They don't have enough tables to go sit down at.
Yeah, there was more than enough seating for sure, especially off to the side by Artist Row, which gave you an opportunity to go sit down and take your mask off and breathe. Well, nursing whatever beverage you had in your hand.
I appreciate they had a whole family zone there too. As ours gets a little bit older and we start bringing them to these conventions, I'm starting to hone in and look for these family zones, just to know where to go when you kind of need that aspect of it. About 50,000 people, Bolo said. That seems really low.
Yeah.
I think there's also probably some that, you know, because I know tickets were available still for there. There's a lot of people who just still weren't going to those type of events and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
All I know
that
is
is what it is.
next time I'm wearing like Danskos or Crocs or whatever, like kitchen staff wear all day long, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Chip, welcome, man.
Hello, hello, hello.
What's up, sister?
Mr. 5.0.
I got to get me one of those Pocan Getler hats.
Pocan Getler. Oh,
I got a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
We
flip it around. And...
Where's yours? You used to rock one all the time.
I got them floating around.
So Saturday night, we were kind of rolling. Saturday night just kind of fit together, and I'm even still drawing a blank. Things happen. For me, it was the toughest part about Saturday was the prep and the getting ready for. Yeah, there's so many pictures out there that I haven't seen yet. The preparation and the setup and the everything for that Whatnot auction. I've done Whatnot auctions at home, but I'm in essentially my pajamas, and I'm lounging. At this convention, I had to make sure everything was set up and staged and ready to go, and I had to have everything had to be mobile. I had to be able to pick up and get and go. So Big Clutch is going live. I'm there just early enough to catch some of that, and I'm like, that's really cool seeing some of those books go. He's done. I start setting up, and next thing you know, people start like filtering by, and I'm like, at one point, I'm looking over. There's like 4 people like actually looking through my short box of auction books, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? They're like, are you selling these? And I'm like, yeah, kind of, but I got really uncomfortable. I got really weird because they just kind of like helped themselves to the short box that wasn't even on the table. It was on a chair, kind of like behind the booth a little bit. I'm like, okay, so I got to pay attention to what I'm doing, and nothing happened. But from that point on, I kind of just went blank, and Jesus took the wheel because we hit go live, and I just started people had videos of me screaming and spitting and yelling, and I had such a blast getting in on that and watching that go down. I had no gas left in the tank after we got done, but pack everything up. And then I think, how did we find out about Fat Poor Tap Works that was going down Saturday? I don't know.
I think DJ had been talking with with Wink and some of the others about something was that we were going to be there doing some stuff and potentially hooking up later or something. As I understand it, I don't know. DJ or Wink chime in if that's more or less correct.
Night, it was me, DJ, Tyler, and Chai Girl. We all went to the place and we met up with Skeleton Comics, and we were all in there. Hitting it hard. I don't know what I was thinking Friday morning.
Sammy and her husband from Skeleton Key were there?
Huh?
Sammy and her husband from Skeleton Key Comics were there? Oh, okay. Yeah.
We were over at Emporia over in South Loop. It's like a arcade/bar. And that night they had like a flea market going on, like artisans selling their bullshit. So we're hanging out in there, having a great time, drinking drinks, get to know each other, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, hey, tomorrow night, probably going to Fat Wars. And I was like, are we going there Saturday night? And then we all kind of scratched our head. We were like, let's just start putting the message out to make sense of everything. And that's just what it kind of morphed into.
Yeah. And also Rob had set up, like, for people that we interacted a whole lot on the YouTubes. Like,
well, yeah, it's
style dinner.
Well, we had started off with, for for our group of
Yeah.
people that we're getting at our inner circle of, the internet group.
People Rob likes, basically.
Yeah, basically. That's it.
I don't know if it's about
Three
me,
people, and then
whatever. people who should have mustaches and those that do. We've been talking about getting together for a dinner one night or whatever, and originally poor Chip initially kind of got it stuck with the responsibility because he was the Chicago guy and somehow got stuck, and he had suggested the View restaurant up on the bar up on top of the Hilton, and then of course we thought that was a plan, and so I started planning something for potentially Thursday, the early arrivers at Fat Pour, and then when we found out the dress code and everything for the View and decided that we really didn't want to play that game, I just said, hey, why don't we just do the Fat Pour thing on Saturday instead, and then I took over just kind of pulling that together and
Thank the Lord.
interacting with them, because I had found out initially that they could do big parties and everything else. So then it was just
The
reaching out to them saying, hey,
was
I got
awesome.
like 23 people.
Really
Can
good.
you accommodate us? And they said, yeah. And they recommended the mix and mingle area instead of a sit down dinner, and they helped to recommend, the catering option to make the food easier and all that other kind of stuff. So it was a lot with their help, and that's the great thing with a lot of these restaurants that do these things. They know what really works well, and they'll help tell you what you're doing wrong.
It turned out it was a perfect atmosphere up there.
Yeah, it was great.
It worked out well.
I'm just glad their memory was short from the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they only had again, the difference was instead of having 17 tabs on, they had one tab that was already had the credit card already on file.
Yeah, I'm halfway home and realized I forgot to pay, and I'm like, oh crap! So I call them and I'm like, yeah, I need to give you a credit card to pay for my $17 worth of food.
It was a great setup. We were having a great time, and then all of a sudden, I kind of knew what it felt like to be like in Chicago in the '90s when Jordan, Pippen, and Horace Grant walked in the building, when Andy, Skeff, Wink,
Winking walked in. I'm like,
and then the energy level just went from here, and I'm reaching above Taylor's head.
Yeah, I'm pretty short. You don't got to reach that high.
Oh, Zuni, come on, mama! Everybody walked in, and it was just bananas from that point.
Kill Bill music played and everything,
Yeah.
Well, I knew. I caught my second wind about the time I walked out of that building after we. So those auctions, I employ everybody to at least watch them and hang out and be a part of those, because that's good energy flowing and good energy feeding. And then when you get done, you kind of shut that off. You kind of got to have a second wind or find a second wind. We walked out of that hotel. It was my wife, me, Paul, Skeff, Alex, Wink, and I can't remember who else was right behind us. But that cold air hit, and I'm like, I'm feeling kind of good. We walk across the street, and I literally skipped the rest of the way to the bar. Well, almost all the way to the bar. And it's literally like a 3-minute walk, and then you're in the door, and I was panicking Saturday night, downtown Chicago. It's going to be a 3-hour wait anywhere for food. You walk in there, and everybody's like, well, they're on the second floor. Walk upstairs, and there's all the food laid out. There's people. There's dedicated waitresses for that mingle area, and I'm like, this is absolute heaven. Everything is laid out and everything is ready to go. And I think, God, I don't know about you guys, but I would want to do that at least one night out of every C2E2
for
going forward.
Yeah.
It's the way to go.
One thing
it was affordable too. I think Rob mentioned about 40 a head.
Yeah. So the crazy thing was, it was very affordable. The crazy thing actually that jacked it up was, they run and put the city tax there is like 11.5%, and then they add a 20% gratuity, and then they add a 4% tax for using a credit card, but they want to have a credit card on file. So you basically end up adding 35% on top of the bill. And we had planned food for 23, and you guys know, we ended up going, hey guys, there's plenty of food. Help yourselves eventually at some point, because it was like 45 a head is what we were at, and that's fine. for that type of event. It's great, and you could do it probably for less. We could have cut back on some of the food and changed a little bit, but
I don't know. That was
that
was awesome.
mac and cheese.
yeah.
I don't know, dude. That other mac and cheese wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's bulk filler too, though. That's the whole thing. Yeah, you can't just have nothing but protein, Tyler. And you have to have something there that if there was a vegetarian who showed up, they could eat something without being mocked.
There was a chicken sandwich.
Vegetarian.
Because chicken's not meat.
Sorry, as a person who plans parties and stuff on a regular basis, I try to make sure that all the different food bases are covered.
And like I said, thank the Lord you were there, because it would have been all meat for everybody.
Yeah.
Damn the vegetarians.
Right. Yeah.
There's cheese pizza. Come on.
Yeah.
You also had veggies and salad and everything else there, so you can tell your mom you did.
Yeah.
Well, it was there, Mom. Yeah, there was veggies and fruit and salad there too. Yeah.
It's funny. I see Tyler from Shutter Glass Reviews is here, and him and I were having a little chat, and I said to him, I'm like, you and me, are we the tallest guys here? He goes, yeah, I think so. And he said, well, maybe Remy too, and maybe Rob. And then Winking walked in the room. Let me tell you, everyone,
monster.
Yeah.
When Alex walked in the room with Skeff, obviously, like, just to touch on what Nick said, yeah, we all looked over like, oh, the big boys are here now. Literally, when we say big boys, Alex is a massive human being. I am 6'1", and I looked up to talk to this guy. Like, we were talking torpedo boxes, whatever. I got a picture, like, I did a little fanboy or whatever, and I gushed over him. But look, he is tall. He's closer and taller than what I am.
Yeah.
And I mean,
as much yelling as Wink does on
6'1",
cam.
but
As much yelling as Wink does on cam, I figured he's like 5'4". I figured he's like a Joe Pesci.
Yeah. Little man with a big stick.
Yeah, I think in general,
I figured he was
man with a big stick.
I was glad that he was suited up though too, because if he would have worn everything else, I would have been
in a t-shirt and jeans, and that's how
he was like
relaxed. The tie was loosened up.
No.
Played the part.
No.
Hey, so I stepped away for a second. Has Paul showed off his heat, what he got at that convention yet?
No, it's a great segue into welcoming Paul into the house.
Dun, dun, dun.
Paul. Yeah, no, like Andy has like a lot of my stuff, and I still never cleaned up from before I left. I took out like short boxes, and I'm like, I need this book, and it's like everywhere. But hold on. Whoop, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
So.
Hey, nice T-shirt! All right.
So I got this done for my buddy by Tula Lotte.
Nice.
Beautiful. Make it big.
Andy, make it big.
Hold on.
Here, Andy, come on, let's go.
I know, right?
Man,
there you go.
Newbie.
The owner of StreamYard's telling you what to do.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, oh man,
holy crap, that's good.
Yeah, and then I had sketch covers done. I had a Shadecraft and a Department of Truth, and they're at CGC though.
Jeez, I'm mesmerized what he's got behind him. Jesus,
what that bell?
The princess? The princess bell?
Yeah. The Barbie doll. Nick's Kicks and Barbies. That's what I'm at.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, here you go.
Oh boy, some Jay Lee love.
Then I got the matching.
What?
Yeah, those were like he only did that 3 times, and those are 2 of them, and the other one is ungraded. Yeah, and I got a lot of stuff. I got all like my We Love medals up there. There's far more than you think. They're like stacked on stacked.
I said I liked Paul, but now I kind of hate him.
yeah, shrink him down, Andy.
Look at he still hasn't been able to get that stupid wristband off yet.
Yeah, no. I've been listening all day.
So Paul hits me up, and he's like, Andy, he's like, I made a mistake. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I flew, and I only have so much room. And I'm like, we'll figure it out, man. This is what ended up coming home with me.
Crap.
Nice. This will get shipped to Paul soon. This is like 25, 30 pounds worth of books.
Yeah, that was like my suitcase right there.
And
at least he left you the books and not like a whole lot of underwear and stuff, and said,
dirty underwear and socks.
I feel like if there was anybody that could compete with Skeff and Skeff's energy level and his speed on the convention floor all weekend, it was Paul.
No, not the energy. No. Yeah, I got around though.
Oh yeah, you got around for sure.
Yeah.
So welcome, Paul, because you popped in the middle of everything, and I want to say that I am truly pleasantly surprised that we got to spend as much time with hanging out with you this past weekend as we did, and that was a blast. We even had an opportunity to do lunch with you on Saturday, was it right? Yeah, it was Saturday.
Yeah. That was the first time I ate. Yeah.
I learned a lot about the extra levels and layers of collecting when it comes to sketches, remarks, packing things. You and Skeff showed me a whole new level of packing and carrying things that I'll carry going forward in convention experiences here on out. But I can't thank you guys enough, everybody here. So that Saturday party, because that made that entire building could have burnt down and every book could have been lost, and I still would have had the greatest convention experience of my life in Fat Poor's Tap Works right there that Saturday night.
It helps that JPG bought 40 shots for the.
It was two rounds of Hennessy, I think.
I don't even. It wasn't Hennessy. They didn't have. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was something.
It was Jack, I think, but it didn't taste like Jack.
Yeah,
I thought it was gentleman.
Wasn't Jack.
No, it wasn't Jack.
He was looking for the cheapest shot. Nice.
Hey, take it easy now.
Oh, that's right, Paul. It was your birthday Thursday too.
Happy birthday, brother.
Oh, happy birthday, man! Yeah.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
Yes, Luke. I think everybody here is going to say store folios are a must-bring item.
Yeah,
I carry at least 2 with me. I do a magazine folio with a standard comic folio in the magazine folio tucked in a bag, so that way if I load them both up, I can carry one back out and keep one in the bag. But those things are life-saving.
Do that with a couple of extra little tear-off sheets of bubble wrap, so you can use it to keep them flopping around until they fill up.
But don't fall for this.
Oh, you did.
Don't
get it.
He bought it for the box.
He bought it for the box. Impatient.
There was twofold. I got suckered in by this box, and I'm not even a big Batman.
I was gonna do one with you, Nick, but like you were too chicken back when I offered.
Taylor was asking everybody.
Yeah.
but then I had a lot of extra books that I needed, and I didn't want to just buy a folio. And we were right by the torpedo booth, and I was like, all right, let me try it.
Show it up. What'd you get?
That's some fire. Watch out, guys. This is fire.
It's a first appearance.
Cover slab.
You got a first appearance, Nick.
I just dropped the slab that I picked up in this box, and I didn't care.
Oh.
All right. So the box was $80.
It's not terrible.
The box contained a slab and this Essentia cover.
Yeah, that's one of those. It's written by somebody from Torpedo, right?
Yeah, I don't know what this is, but I picked it up as soon as I opened the box. I dropped this on the floor, and honestly, I didn't care that I dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was hoping. I think the GPs were ASM 129, first appearance of Black Panther, first appearance of Eunice, some other stuff. But I got something. Stuff, yeah. I got something.
Ninja Turtles in a different box, I think, but yeah.
I got something greater. I got ASM number 1,
nice
9.6, signed by the greatest, worst ASM writer in history.
No.
Nick Boom Boom Spencer?
Yep.
Nice. Priceless.
First appearance of Kindred.
Oh,
yeah.
So now, when I hear other things,
you meant to put that on the table behind him.
I myself am a Nick. So I always say there's never enough Nicks, but there obviously is enough Nicks. But I got a cool store for you.
At least you know that Kindred stuck around for more than just 1 or 2 issues.
Yeah. No kidding. Longest running villain ever.
Has Green Goblin even made 75 appearances yet? Wait.
Terrible.
I don't even know what to say.
It makes
That's-
Dan Slott look like a genius. Like, come on, like so bad, so
There's an
bad.
$80. It was an $80 box, and they probably spent $5 making the box.
And she told me, she was like, "Yeah, we spend way too much on the packaging, so please pick one up." So I
You
was,
think? Well,
I fell for that.
We spent too much on the packaging, so please pick one up.
Should have spent more on the comics putting them in.
This is the best thing that ever happened to Nick Spencer, and Nick Spencer has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone wants
That's all I
500
got.
copies of that issue, let me know.
Oh,
Everybody
actually, Paul, you gave me a copy of that to do a convention like sketchbook, like with Austin's cover.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'll have to do it at the next one. I never got a chance. Yeah, I don't know.
Paper use it or whatever. I don't know. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
I did get a couple other little things. The good boy, Gunn, Mr. Gunn. Is it Quentin Gunn? What was his last name? Garrett Gunn. Thank you. Garrett Gunn ended up actually gifting me a copy of a book that he signed and personalized, actually. Thanks for the support, bro. This Mega Smash Way the Dude, bro. I can't even bring myself to open it up and read it yet. But he gifted that, and I was super happy to receive that. And then to kind of round out Saturday and a little bit into Sunday here, probably going to get in trouble for this. So now that's a little bit later in the stream, and there's, we understand.
Understood.
Got some stuff we're going to work on. Got some stuff we're going to work on.
Nice.
These will be giveaways.
Giveaway
Yeah,
now.
nice.
Give them away now
to
to
me.
me.
And and then another set to do a giveaway.
Oh, very cool.
Wow,
that's awesome.
What a coincidence! I need all of those books.
So when I say download Whatnot and follow my auctions and just hang out, literally that's all it's gonna take is just be there and hang out to possibly win somebody's giveaway.
I gotta hang out with you, Andy. Damn it.
Hey, listen, I can honestly say that's a good time, and you don't know how many things you can find to make a shiv during some of Andy's auctions.
I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble at any point for doing this, but I literally let go. I just let go, and it's half like wrestling ring dropping the cage down, and half prison riot match with Shanks, toothbrush Shanks, and then I start going through my head, and I literally take every filter I've ever learned to turn on in my professional life, and I turn them all off, and I throw them right out the window. And at some point, I thought Chancellor and Jack were gonna come over and tell me to stop cussing so much, and because it's like the end of the con, it's the end of the day at the con, and I'm like, there's not gonna be anybody here, and I don't know what time it was, but I look up and all of a sudden there's a crowd just standing there. I'm like, I better dial it down a little bit. I dial it down like 0.1%, and then they left.
Yeah, I was beat. We spent I only expected to spend about 2 hours on the con floor that day, and we spent six and a half.
Yeah.
I got back to the hotel room. Yeah, about 4:30, and I was just beat. I was laying down. I was watching. I think Anchorman was on. I was just starting to fall asleep, and then you came on, and then I was up. Boy, I was like, "Woo! Andy is hot." And then I know it was time to go. So I was like, cool.
I told myself that if I was going to do that, I had to take a nap first because of just the timing, just the time of day that it was going down.
Right.
And now I regret not, like, Jack and those guys were like, Andy, dude, go on now live, like Friday or like early Saturday. I'm like, they have room, they have spots. And I'm like, now that I've gone through the experience and I understand what it takes to do that, like on a con floor, like I would definitely go and do other ones, but I was so laser focused on making sure everything was perfect for that one. In the end, all you had to do was click go live and stop thinking about it and just let it all unwind. And
and that was that little booth right there was the place to go. Like you had to stop there a few times a day to see what was going on.
Yeah,
I had walked by at one point and I saw Wink and Skeff going at it, and it just re-energizes you. Go off and do what you need to do. So it was great. was great.
Plus, you can stop next door and get trading cards.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, MetaZoo there. Yep. We
Oh,
can't
yeah.
talk about
The
C2E2
MetaZoo.
and not talk about MetaZoo.
MetaZoo. You got the autograph?
We're all flipping those, right?
I
Well, I
already
mean,
sold this one for 25.
Nice.
I'm hearing that the
Sold that one for
boxes.
25.
Oh, you opened it up and you sold it? Okay.
Yeah. Took a picture of it, sold it for 25.
Huh,
Oh.
damn.
Now
I
I'm
gotta
gonna open
Yeah.
mine and figure out what the heck's in them, Chip. Damn it.
Hey.
I think I left all of mine in Skeff's box. Holy crap, Nick. How many did you end up scoring?
Nick was having fun.
5. I had 5 booster packs, 2 of these, and I bought one of these. I had promised my little hookup at CVCS that I bring some back, but my son too likes them. So
So are these like Pokemon? I don't know what these things are. What is this?
Yeah,
I think it's like the next version or next evolution of like a Pokemon trading card game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I think
and there's
they are.
valuable ones in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
the pack is valuable, Joe.
Yeah.
Just the way it is,
Really?
without knowing
Well,
what's in it.
Not according to the fee bays. I didn't see a ton. They were like $10 to $15 for the pack, but
Yeah.
I know the boxes that they brought with them that they were selling for like 140 on the floor, and I
Yeah.
heard people saying that those are going for 250-ish on the secondary market.
Oh, that's why Skeff wanted me to get one.
But I need to do that would be cool to do like a pack break or a box break at some point. Like I've been wanting to. I bought comic cards to do, and they're still sitting there. But that MetaZoo stuff sounds a little bit more fun than just the 90s comic cards. I don't know. So we've gone over kind of Thursday night into Friday, and then Saturday and Saturday night. Let's, while we kind of round out the end of the night here, talk about how difficult it was to get up Sunday morning.
Wasn't hard away. I stayed up the entire night and went straight
Yeah, I
to
was
the
going
fight.
to say, when I was getting ready to take off Saturday night, Joe, his night had just begun. He was convinced, or trying to convince everybody to keep the night going and
push through,
go out through the next. There was
matter of fact, when I left you guys at Fat Boy, I went around the corner there where those other 2 bars were, just on the other corner there, and just hung out and kind of jumped back and forth between those, and and then I went into the airport and complained that I needed some assistance because I'm a derelict old man, and
what?
They took care of me.
We convinced the waitress that night to refer to Joe as the old man.
yeah, took a lot of convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh man,
Yeah.
So some of you guys left Saturday night. It sounds like there were people that were still flying back on Monday. Wait, what day is it? Oh my god,
Today's Monday.
People are still flying back today.
Yeah.
I wanted to make an effort to actually be on the con floor and do the part of the con on Sunday. So we were like, we're gonna sleep in, we're gonna take it easy. And I woke up right as that sun was right as daylight was cresting over Lake Michigan, and just had like the most picture perfect shot out of the hotel room. And then I realized I'm not hungover because I'm still drunk. I immediately took Motrin, drank two full bottles of water, and climbed right back into bed. And that's when that on IG I posted those 2 pictures. That second picture was the one where I was like, I probably got to get out of bed. And the sun was the only reason why I was forcing myself to get out of bed is the sun was literally like a laser through the window right in my face. It's probably time to get up.
The first thing you said to me Saturday night when I first saw you was, I went back to the room, dropped off my books, and I found a bottle of vodka and just started chugging it. I was like, oh, you're off to a great start.
I don't know if that was a great start, but it was a start nonetheless. I mean, we pretty much spent the whole weekend not really partying. I was kind of focused on getting ready for this auction, really focused on meeting a lot of people. That turned into the trick. The real big trick for the weekend was there's Warlord, there's Remy, there's like, it becomes a thing where I'm so super thankful that everybody at the convention is very understanding about either not getting to spend enough time or not getting to meet people, because it was literally like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes here. And nobody wanted to hold each other up, because we all realized that the longer we stood there and talked, the less time people had to either hunt for books or to get food or to take care of themselves or to even meet other people. So nobody wanted to do kind of bogart everybody else's time. So it became this trade-off of 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And that really ended up being the trick of it. And that's kind of where I wish like people in the community have kind of skirted around this idea of having a booth on a con floor just for like social media people and friends. YouTube, IG, you can't really relegate it to one or another. You can kind of just put all of the labels up there and just call it a social media booth. But I think Tales from the Flip Side did it best in Baltimore when they ended up just renting out like a business room at the bottom of a hotel and did a pizza party that night too.
Yeah.
That was really good because that became very personal, where everybody could sit down and hang out and you kind of miss that bar element. Like Fat Poor's Tap Works was great on Saturday, but maybe we kind of find, I don't know, I'm rambling now. That was,
well, you're right. It was hard because even Sunday we still had new people that were showing up. You know what I mean? That only went there for Sunday, or you know, they were there Saturday, and some of them I didn't even know. Slim showed up. I didn't know he was going to be there. A couple comics showed up. I didn't know he was going to be there. And so it was like, you know, all of a sudden I see Slim's got a live stream from Saturday. I was like, oh shoot, where are you at? Like, you're here? Let's meet up. So that was awesome, you know. And I had no clue that he was going to be there. So
I'm sure if I go back to that IG post I did last week about going to C2E2 and asking who else was going, I'm sure I'm going to find 5 or 6 people on there that responded that I never got the chance to see.
Yeah, there's a couple people I didn't get a chance to meet up with, like Big Head and I can't remember who else. A bunch of others that just said they were there, and I just didn't have a chance to, just didn't bump into them.
Yeah, I got a couple pings like Sunday afternoon or early evening. People still asking if I was around, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I actually left the con floor. I'm in my hotel room, and I'm not going to be walking back."
Yeah,
I didn't go on Sunday. I went and hung out with another friend of mine, but like, if I did that, I would do think this is a good learning con for me to like learn what I did wrong and how to do it differently next year.
So you learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need comfy shoes and a hotel right by the thing so I can ditch out. And
I tell you what, that Hyatt, everybody's like, oh, the Hyatt's expensive. And I'm like, it's expensive until you realize you're a 3-minute walk from the con floor, most circumstances. And just, I mean, I last night I went and I looked to book a room for August, and then I backed right out because they're what everybody was paying for this past weekend at $150 to $200 per room per night for next August is what their Hyatt's already asking for. It's astronomically high this time.
Wow. Yeah, all I know is when I even for this, I mean, we weren't I wasn't at the Hyatt, but we were over at the Hilton. But when I had booked ahead of time, but then later on when they reached out with their C2E2 housing, I rebooked it. The exact same hotel room, the exact same thing. My cost went down $350 for the entire trip when just by booking through the C2E2 housing at their rate.
Yeah. I missed the room. I ended up going 2 miles away. So like for a day and a half, I walked the 2 miles. Or no, well, 3 days, I think.
Yeah. See, I Ubered and I could have just stayed down there for the amount it cost to Uber there. But
we just walked over the covered walkways. I mean, it wasn't as convenient as the Hyatt, obviously, but it was all indoor walk-in, so you didn't need to wear a jacket or anything else. And
a t-shirt.
Yeah. First day we were I think less than it wasn't quite a mile away. We were in Chinatown, and the first day we walked. Second day we discovered the bus, and that was the way to go because that was $2. And I'll tell you, they were clean. Like they were really nice buses. It was warm, and they were pretty frequent. And it was only like I don't know, 8-minute ride to get to the daggone thing, and it was a lot better than walking. because that
There was
first night was a
actually,
disaster.
A lot of people hanging out in the lobby at the Hyatt pretty late at night too. So there was a
Oh
whole
my God.
scene out there too, which was really cool.
Oh my God. Yeah. That whole from the elevators all the way wrapped down to the Arc Bar, all the way to the McCormick place was bumper to bumper, elbow to elbow people Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I
Speaking
mean that's
of
the only thing
fun-
I think that would probably be a better chance if you wanted to mingle and make connections or make after hours deals and stuff. That being there was probably the better place for that, obviously.
Yeah.
Speaking of Friday night,
Brian K. Vaughan again.
So you're in my head there, Paul. You were there for that, were you not?
I wasn't there Thursday, but I talked to Joe. You know.
So Friday night, it ended up being an Arc Bar situation where we were all done, call it a night. We wanted one nightcap, just one pint, and we find a table and sit down. And I forget who was there with us. I can't remember if it was you, Paul, or somebody else. But we're sitting there just drinking and getting ready to pay the tab. We ordered one last round, and I look over to my left, and I'm like, "Is that who I think it is?" And asking Sarah, my wife, and I wish I would have preloaded this photo. And she decides to do the creepiest thing in the godforsaken world because her back was turned to it. She just does the number where she acts like she's looking at her phone and then tilts it and take a picture, which everybody in the bar knows what you're doing at that point. And tried to do it all super creepily. And my gut was like 90% sure this is who I thought it would be sitting there with us. And there's so much content I'm floating through. I got to pull this up. So we're sitting there and we're going to have to do this. And I'm like 80% sure, like my gut says that I'm 90% sure that that's Brian K. Vaughan. So I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, okay, well, let's see how this plays out because I'm not just going to just ram jam my way over there and be like, dude, are you Brian K. Vaughan? I'm fairly certain it's Brian K. Vaughan. So we're sitting there drinking, and at one point, he's talking with his friends, turns and looks, puts his hand in his pocket, and has his pint in his hand, like legit, like eye contact, laser locks with me. And I'm like, my heart skips a beat, and I'm like, all right, this is the shot. This is my chance to shoot that shot and see what happens. All I did was this. I feel so dumb. I threw up a peace sign, and I just nodded like that, and I just kind of kept bobbing my head and smiling and staring at him. That's all I did, and I must have been looking goofy as hell because this look on his face was like locked up, like uh-oh, like it was like legit.
Call
like
the cops.
It's like you could see a legit uh-oh. The next hour and a half, his back was turned to our table the entire time, and I was like, well, gave it a shot. Lo and behold, thank you to Paul, who hooked me up with Joe Pruitt of Aftershock to did you see him there? And he's like, I can't answer that. And just kind of looked at me, and I'm like, dang it was him. I'm like, oh God. So Joe's like, I can't say anything, man. I know I can't answer that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get where this is going. So it really was him. And he's there but not there, and I definitely get he's there with his friends having a good time. I'm not gonna pounce my way into that situation, but I threw the shot out hoping for like a volley back and maybe next time. But Paul, you were in my head. That was like the one story that we hadn't talked about yet, and then that kind of segues into a story that you can talk about Sunday lunch.
I'm gonna take off, boys. Thanks for having me, Andy.
I see you, Chris.
Fam, it was good seeing you.
Chris, thanks for being here, man.
My pleasure. Take care, guys.
Good night, man.
Yeah, if you guys got to bail, this is like totally unscripted. We're pretty much closing out the show because I definitely want to hear from Paul. Oh my God, there's many private chats over here. Yes.
Yeah. So Saturday, I saw Dinesh was going to be at C2E2, and I just wanted to get a picture with him because there's like this running joke in one of my Discord groups. Like one of these guys in my groups has a lot of money, buys a lot of original art, all that. So we always talk about how it's his best friend and all that stuff. So I wanted to get a picture with him and flaunt it to him. So I messaged Dinesh, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a little busy tonight, but I can meet you Sunday, like 3:30." So I'm like, "All right." So he messaged me at like 1:45, and he's like, "Hey, I'm at the Hyatt bar. Come on over." I'm like, okay. I go for the picture. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "You hung over?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You should have a drink. It's the best cure." So we sat there for like almost 2 hours actually, and we were just talking about everything, like the bad idea. People are lost.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we're discussing all the future things to piss people off, like how to troll them. We actually discussed Whatnot quite a bit. We got into Skeff's stream, and we were watching that. And he watched the Invincible books go for the $1,600. Watching books that were still available double in price. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I don't know. There was a lot more.
Well, I'm still editing a bunch of videos of the trip. I actually got Comic Man Andy's entrance and his big hug to Nick in a video. So I got that, and I got to do things twice because fucking retard Pocan decided to have 2 channels now that he's got to legitimize. And maybe get some views on them. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys, but I got to head out. I love all of you.
See you, Joe.
Thanks,
See you
Joe.
later, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I am going to be flying off to New York tomorrow to try to steal some of Paul's books. So
Nice.
I'm going to have to get going too. But I want to thank each and every single one of you, because that was honestly, I was a little worried that you might have that moment where the reality of who somebody might be pops through. That did not happen at all. Only like DJ Lynx at 5'2" was a little taller than I expected of him. But that was the only surprise. Yeah. I was happy to see the people that I knew. I was happy to meet the people that I didn't know. Big Head Comics. Just a lot of other people too were just awesome to meet. It's Andy for the first time, Skeff for the first time. Alex Wink was also just, you guys,
The
superhero
giant.
status as far as I'm concerned. So.
Before you leave, one of the bigger highlights too from Saturday was Come On Mama and Zuni being able to hang out at the bar too.
Awesome.
Being able to see them for the first time was absolutely awesome, and they were able to hang out for dinner. But Nick, man, I don't want to hold you up. You do you, boo.
Look for this wall to be updated with that stuff soon.
Yeah, he's got to hang that new Spider-Man 1 he's got.
I'll leave like a whole stack of stuff for you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, trust me, I can verify that.
Yeah, let's trade.
Yeah.
See you guys. Thank you so much.
Good night, man.
Later.
But this feels so incredibly foreign to go into the convention and spend all that time talking and doing everything, and then to sit down and do a live feed with 10, 12 people in here.
Yeah.
It's like, I forgot how to do YouTube. We actually
take your pants off and make sure the camera's aimed at the upper half.
Yeah, we actually legitimately spent time hanging out with each other and being real humans, and now it's like, I gotta figure out YouTube again.
We even took a break from the con for a little bit. We had on Saturday for some of our group took off, and we did on the con floor. We went over to the pop-up escape rooms that they had there, and so kind of got to work together as the group, and it was kind of fun. Those internet people that you're friends with, but you haven't actually really done anything other than talk like this on stuff. Then actually have to work together to solve these puzzles and stuff to get out of the escape room. For most of it was our first time doing an escape room. That was a lot of fun too. Actually, turned out a lot more fun than we thought it was going to be.
Man, you guys want to go around and do any closing or parting shots or anything like that before we finish off?
Sure.
Rob, man, thanks for being here. You had probably one of the biggest ASM hauls I think I've ever seen at a convention before. That was epic, man. Where can people find more of your content? Where can people find you and see more of that great goodness?
Thanks. My Instagram, Rob Fat Stacks of Comics. Also my YouTube channel. You can just look for Rob Fat Stacks. I hashtag all that stuff, so it pops up pretty easy without having to write up the whole darn thing. Usually I just do. I have a couple different regular segments. Regularly we do. I usually do a mail call. I have a very eclectic, weird selections on what I pick up, so some people kind of find it very interesting to get exposed to some different books you may not see sometimes, as well as some of the normal stuff. And then the big show that I do is Saturday with Chris the Comic Vet. We partner up. We do a show called Slab Hub, and we have different people, and any of you guys that interested in coming on down the road, we're happy to have you. Where we basically spend about an hour and a half with a guest comes on and shares about 25 to 30 slabs from their collection, and take us on a journey into their collecting and what got them interested in slabs or what they slab or whatever else, and share them off with everybody. It's never a flex session except when Chris is around, then he's flexing all over everybody. But,
yes. Is there a black leather couch available?
Yeah.
But we do talk dirty to you.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm gonna have to hit you guys up. I've spent the last 8 or 9 or 10 months watching your content and kind of following you, only to realize that I somehow wasn't following you on IG. So I corrected that. We traded volleys there on that, and I can't wait to see what you guys continue to do more, because the Slab Hub thing is I giggle every time I see that pop up on the feed every week.
No association with Slab Hub, the actual company that exists, apparently. I recently found out.
Nice.
So come on, Mama's dropping links in the chat right now for Rob's Fat Stack.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Rob's channel, Taylor Winder's channel. So that's a good segue. Taylor, man, thanks for being here. It was so great seeing you at the con, man. Where can people find you, and what do you have coming up next?
Well, the Mama just dropped my link, youtube.com/Taylor Winder, and where I do the most pleasant, lighthearted, kind comic book reviews ever. And, yeah. Speaking of which, tomorrow night, if you watch my channel, you can see me review this, and I'll give it away. Scout Volume 1. So, but yeah, I do comic reviews. I was doing mystery boxes, but I was reviewing mystery boxes, and they're fine. But whatever, that's fine.
Taylor's reviews, basically, he gets the lasso of truth put around him, and he speaks unfiltered.
Yeah,
and they are great reviews in reality. Highly entertaining.
The reason he isn't doing box reviews anymore.
I'll take my fee now.
Yeah. There you go. Nick's got your comic from Torpedo that he's gonna.
Oh, great! Another Nick Spencer #1. Yeah. Okay. Another First Appearance of Kindred. I don't have enough of those.
Yeah.
I see. Come on, Mamas. Drop the link for Chip Getler in there, so make sure you follow Chip on YouTube as well, man. Thanks for being here. It was so great to be able to spend time with you. Where can people find you, and what do you have coming up next?
Let's see, YouTube, Chip Getler on YouTube, and I've got content dropping tomorrow for C2E2, and Saturday nights, every Saturday night, almost every Saturday night, we do banter, which basically starts at 7 and goes until Rob goes to bed. So that's about it, which is 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So we're just kind of sitting around doing this.
It's usually 7 hours. Yeah, it's about 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours of this.
7 or 8 hours of just hanging out and chatting.
So if you missed hanging out with everybody at the con, just
come on in. Come on over to banter. Not a problem.
Same things.
But to help,
it's after dark, so you're free to do what you want. That's
to help Chip sell this. We should clarify that it's 7 p.m. Eastern.
No, it's 8 Central. There's only one time zone, and it is
7 Central.
Okay, I don't know. I just show up when it. Okay, whatever. Yeah,
to show you how well my channel is known.
5 p.m. Pacific. That's all. That's right.
You don't want to get there at the beginning. You want to wait like an hour.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Hey. So anyway, that's what I got going on. It's that a little bit of that, a little bit of that. So thank you for having me on your channel. Awesome.
Thanks for being here. I greatly appreciate it, man. Yes. Remy, man.
Thanks for having me on, man.
The kiss that rocked all kisses
Oh yeah.
The only makeout session that ever happened all weekend long, brother. Thanks for being here. Like I got to be dead honest, man. I was almost 80% sober for that. That was totally for the pictures. I totally wanted to make everybody jealous, and I totally wanted to hit like the Hollywood Reporter and all those news websites.
Awesome. I made sure to I only released the G-rated though. That's the thing. For the fans only will see the full on. But
so if they look on your OnlyFans, they'll see some photos of you fluffing and grooming and like
yeah. I had two of the G-rated that I put on IG. That's it. The rest are for the OnlyFans. But yeah, no, I had a great time. I'm gonna have a video where I go over some of the books that I had picked up. Angel has a rant from the con with footage from the con that we're gonna have. So it's gonna be a mixed rant of her review and again some actual footage from the con that she had ranted while there. I also have I cracked open my childhood bedroom that I haven't been in about 20 years, and I brought some goodies back. So I've got some
like
books,
Capone's
and
vault,
some
only better.
toys. Yeah, it was so a little time travel that I did. So I hope to get more the next time I visit my mom. But yeah, should have that coming in the next week or so as well. So
awesome.
Thank you for having me on. I had a blast with everybody. Seriously, it was a fantastic time. So.
Remy, did you get Geraldo Rivera to sit there and break the seal on your door?
You know, I'll tell you, it's a little controversial because I definitely went in looking for some more things that I didn't find that I'm gonna have to dig up. But I did find a few treasures that I was like, oh, I didn't expect to see that. All right,
Hey,
I'll have to.
I do have one quick question, real quick. When you guys were at the con, did you guys see any Invisible Man comic books? Because man, I just couldn't see any. Back to you, Remy.
That's it.
Well, I mean, with the whole room thing, that reminds me, man, the whole room thing. This could really help you out. I've just invented the first thought-controlled air freshener. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Oh.
That's the only reason why I'm here.
Nick left before we got to segue into the jokes.
Oh, Nick was egging that on. We didn't even go over that. Nick was egging that on Saturday.
Yeah,
you came in.
Actually, that was the first thing that I said to Andy. Tell me a joke.
It literally was. Austin, man, thank you so much. It was so good running into you. You were one of the first people I looked to see if they had a booth going on in C2E2 this year. And then when you didn't, I'm like, okay, we'll definitely have to run into him. Lo and behold, the planets aligned, the universe delivered, and there you were. The first thing you asked for was a joke. And I think I failed you miserably and I had nothing available. I was like spent, but man, that begs the question, where can people find you and what do you have going on next?
So yeah, you can catch me on Instagram at Austin LeMay. I got a lot coming up.
What's up, JPG? Sorry.
So stay tuned. Oh, there he is. So yeah, stay tuned. I got a lot of good stuff coming up. I do a lot of sketch covers and stuff like that. A lot of commissions and got some good stuff coming up that you don't want to miss. So make sure you check me out there. Other than that, you can catch me in just random spots throughout everybody's channels here. I'm usually hanging out in the chat or on screen. So
dude, I can't wait to see I can't wait to be at a con where I see you at with a booth or a table, because then I'm going to be definitely hitting you up for that sketchbook that we've got going on, which I don't even know where our sketchbook is at here. We got something done that I'll have to show that off in the actual show. But man, you and a lot of the other artists have really turned me into somebody who's chasing original art and sketches at cons, not just comic books anymore. So you've helped add additional layers to that experience. So I really appreciate that. And your time for being here tonight, man. It was great seeing you this weekend.
Yeah, likewise, man. Time of my life.
Yeah, that was epic, man. Speaking of epicness, Paul, did you have that picture from IG to share for your segue out?
Which one?
Dinesh was literally about to murder you.
Yeah, we've been back and forth on Twitter. I claim that I'm his cousin and like his rich cousin, and don't piss off Dinesh. So we made this shot where I'm like laying down like this, and he has a knife up in the air, and yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, if anybody wants to follow me on Instagram, there it's just like over here, the _ Paul Dunn. I'm working on getting a whatnot together. If Nick doesn't come and take all my books, then maybe I'll get that going, get some art in there also. And yeah.
Oh, hey, I got a new name for your channel.
Oh, what is it?
Done Deals.
Oh my God. I don't think you can pass that up.
Dude, that's perfect.
I don't think you can pass that. Oh, man.
Damn. I submitted
thank you.
I can change it. I'm changing it to that.
That was
Make the check out to Taylor Winder.
Yeah. Yes.
Another epic con highlight, being able to spend a big chunk of the weekend with you, even though we were at separate hotels. I think technology is this beautiful thing of being able to do group messaging and connect. And next thing I know, you're like 5 minutes away. I'm like, perfect. Let's go. You guys, I draw so much energy from not only the people that come and watch the shows, but everybody else in the community. And this was probably one of the most energizing situations I've ever found myself in. Was the last 4 or 5 days now. It's carrying through to today. I'm still working on con stuff, even though we've been home since yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening. Yeah. That energy, carrying it straight through. I've got to go back to work, unfortunately. But I literally sat here today. I'm like, what could I do side hustle wise where I could quit my job so I could just keep having fun like this? Really?
Yeah. OnlyFans.
Yeah.
How saturated is that market for me right now? I mean, either way, I can't thank you guys enough. It's been almost 2.5 hours, and it's gone by like lightning quick. There's some great stories, and everybody out there that was not at C2E2 that missed out definitely needs to go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Any parting final shots real quick? We will end this if you guys are all set.
Great experience.
Great meeting y'all.
It was
absolutely.
Who knew that, a year and a half of pent up being only on video with all these people, that we really needed this therapeutic release of getting together and getting to meet all these people that we've met and gone this journey on, and to then actually get those chances to actually solidify these real connections. That was great.
Yes, absolutely. It was fantastic. I can't wait. And like you guys have said in the chat, August. Excuse me. We're booking for August. You gotta keep it going. You got an hour drive. Oh boy. Catch the replay. Hit rewind. Catch the replay.
Rewind.
But I gotta do like I normally do. I don't want to end this because I feel like C2E2 is now officially ending for me. And I don't want that to end. August, we are already going to work to book August and work that into the budget because it was absolutely fantastic. We're in August. It's just going to be much better weather, and I hope. But
it'll be moist.
Ooh, it's another OnlyFans. I mean, you guys know how I'm going to do this, right? You guys know.
No, I don't stay on the end of your stuff.
You miss out on so much then, Like, man, I really wish. No, I'm going to save that one for later. I'm going to go peace out. I'm going to go piggies out. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side for the next one. And the most important part all day, every day, be original. Take care of each other. Peace out.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.